Okay, well, welcome to the City of Palaca City Commission meeting on September 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We're going to begin with the invocation by Commissioner Borum and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Davis.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I didn't know you were here. Go ahead, Pastor Mulberry. Sorry. That's okay. Go ahead, Pastor Mulberry.
Father, we thank you. We praise you. We give you glory for all you do for us. We thank you, dear God, for your goodness all day long, how you brought us together once again. We pray, God, your blessing upon this uh, gathering on this day. Father, that you will be in the midst of your people, that you will bless the furtherance, God, of the city as we move forward in the proper direction. We pray for your wisdom and your guidance in all that we do, God, that you would be glorified in everything. We thank you for it now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Join me in our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Davis. Present. Commissioner Campbell.
Present.
Commissioner Jones.
Here. Present.
Present. Has everybody had an opportunity? We have quorum, sorry. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes of special call meeting, August 4th, 2025, and August 6th, 2025 budget workshop?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to city manager and administrative reports. Ms. Cardy.
Yes, ma'am. That one pager, the city manager report, in reference to, do you actually have it? You have it? Okay, let's start. The airport is in a favorable position as it relates to operations. We have 2 signature projects and our airport manager is here to augment this. Jet Center Hangar, Taxiway E are progressing to the design phase. The official renderings will be coming to us soon. We're very near the term of breaking ground ceremony. So the critical operational focus at the airport is repairing the weather observation system. Airport manager is working very closely with code enforcement. So we've been working with the ski club and have also completed, the airport manager completed a tour of the wastewater treatment plant and realized that there's a lot of an accumulation of shotgun pellets there. So we're looking at this more closely. And so the airport advisory board, we're hoping that that will move forward soon.
Okay, do you want Mr. McNeil to come up? He is in the room.
If you would like, is there more that you can add to it? You're always welcome,
Please,
airport
at this point, you
manager.
want to contribute to the report? Does anybody have any questions of Mr. McNeil? Apparently not.
Okay, thank you. Floating dock, and this is just an update. We're finally making progress. We have 2 consultants working with us. We have been able to secure the authorization to remain in place and not as temporary structures, but as permanent, and authorization has been provided. We will renew the lease in 2027. The items of non-compliance have been resolved, and we are in the midst of getting the authority or the approval to replace the floating dock that was damaged by the hurricane. We are also working on mitigation, and as soon as we have the pricing from the consultant, we will move forward. So I just wanted you to have an update of how we're progressing with the floating dock. And There's an item that the commissioners always want to have update on, and that's called the Public Works building. Just want you to know that that is progressing quite well. We did have some pictures just to show you how it's progressing. It's up there on the screen. If you could just go one by one, I'd appreciate it. And some of the commissioners have completed tours of the building. We are encouraging all of the commissioners to come by and see the work that's being done. Thank you.
It also should be noted that a lot of the work, much of the work has been done by Public Works employees.
Yes, ma'am.
Saving a substantial amount of money. So I think
Substantially.
that should be noted.
Thank you. You're quite right.
Mayor and Commissioners, pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0118A, as your city attorney, I am respectfully requesting that we schedule an executive session, also known as a shade meeting, to discuss the pending litigation between Jeff Nations and the city of Palaca. I would respectfully request that we conduct this shade meeting within a 1-week time frame, and we need about an hour and a half. So I need for all of you to confer and give me a date and a time certain so that we can publicly notice the meeting. No, this is my request to you. Mhm.
Okay. So we're now looking at a dates for next week.
Ms. West, Ms. Hayes, do you have dates?
In person.
In
In
person.
person
Well,
is
Yes.
preferred.
okay, I'm not available Thursday and Friday because I'm on a conference, not a conference, but FMIT, city business.
So this
What-
is, okay.
What does Monday, September 15th look like for everyone? You are not available. Okay, you can attend by Teams.
Yes.
Mhm.
Monday works for me.
Okay.
Monday good for me.
Tuesday's better, but if I have to do Monday, I'll cancel what I have Monday night. That's all.
Commissioner Bourne.
Monday will be fine.
And
Uh,
We're
what
doing
time?
this at what time?
What time?
5? 6? 5?
5 would be
30?
better.
5, I'm better with 5 too. Is everybody okay with 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
So 5 o'clock on the 15th.
thank you very much. The clerk will proceed with publicly noticing September 15th at 5 p.m. for an executive session, also known as a shade meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to call up Mr. Cutright for the Palaca Go-Gov.
Eddie Cutright, Community Affairs Director. This is just a quick snapshot of.
Mayor, is
Yes.
it possible for you to increase the size of the documents you're sharing so that they can be visible for the attendees?
You close back out. If you close back out. And use the, and use the magnifying glass.
Well, thank you. That was good.
I'll just leave it on that.
Not let one person tell. We want to have people going. It's more stressful than that.
All right, this is the app that we put together for the neighborhood improvement team because of My Palaca Go-Gov. The app purpose is just to keep the residents informed of everything, deliver a real-time city update directly to your phone. Transparency, share important information quickly and clearly. Simplify communication, one platform for alerts, updates, and requests. Notification, It will help us notify any kind of stuff that the city want to put out, special events, road closures, any kind of safety issues that's going on there. And it give you a chance to see it quick, real time, instead of going through newspaper or social media or word of mouth. The benefit of this for residents, they'll stay connected. One of the things I hear a lot is that we didn't know this was going on, or we haven't heard about this. But this would eliminate that, because now you'll get it as soon as we put it out, if you have this app. Real-time alerts, easy access, view the news, events, and alerts from anywhere, because it's gonna come directly to your phone. The benefit from the city is direct communication. Now we can keep our citizens informed with everything we're doing. Some of the things we do is not being noticed by the community, so this will give you opportunity to share, i.e. something about the Public Works building. I'm pretty sure a lot of community didn't know that we was doing that with the Public Works building. So this is where that'll be a streamline to kind of help bring a more transparency, a more complete notification to all the community, and also help us get our important events and other things out from the city. So actually, call to action is this: I really want y'all to download the app. It's should be a couple of things in there that you can go to your Google store or your app store. It's simple. And then we're gonna start uploading some stuff here in the next couple of weeks once we get the commissioners on board and actually got it downloaded, and we'll run a little test run with y'all and see how y'all do.
I already downloaded it
Okay.
today, so I'm good.
Okay.
I'm ahead.
All right. Well, I was hoping, because I did send it to you earlier. Yes.
With this, I'd like to see a full-fledged campaign come from City Hall, with regards to the new app. I think it'll be beneficial, especially in times of storms and things of that
Yes.
nature. So I would definitely like to see a full-fledged newspaper, Facebook, radio, just a full-fledged campaign coming from the City Hall with regards to this app.
Okay.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Thank
And
you.
we will utilize the gas authority bills and other, the post office to kind of get this information out to everybody we can.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, no, just a comment. Like Commissioner Campbell said, I think, the best person to be able to do that is our PIO.
Yes,
We're gonna, not only this thing, but anything that we have that should be a highlight for what the city is doing as it relates to improving things for our community. So look forward to seeing things.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. There was also in the packet special events. Is that Mr. Cartwright too? It was in our packet. There was a whole graphic presentation with it.
the funding guidelines, the special
Yes, it's
event.
the guidelines, but I
Yes,
didn't know.
we-
you were
can we-
going- It
you
was
want
under
to
your
go-
report.
I think you went over it before, but
No, I thought this was the one that I think we were talking about was the city's special event
That's correct.
package of what we're doing.
And it's in our packet, so I didn't know if you were gonna go over it
Yeah.
again.
I get it right. Yeah.
It's in the,
right, it's special events, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sorry, would you confirm also that you're sharing your screen when you are showing the documents? Thank you.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so this right here is put together by my team at the Community Affairs and also the Special Event team, just to highlight, and y'all don't know who is the team and what they're doing in the events that we do as a city. This is just an opportunity to give y'all a quick snapshot about what, next slide, if you don't mind. Give a quick snapshot about how we do things over the Community Affairs when we do our special event team meetings. Have a team in place, created consistency and accountability, reduce the burden on other departments, and allow clear communication with city leaderships, partners, and residents. Most important, a special event team helps strengthen community pride by creating memorable, exclusive experiences that brings people together while maintaining professionalism and fiscal responsibility. Team itself, that was pretty quick there. Next slide.
They can stay there.
This is our team here. This is the team that we have that meets every twice a month to go over special events and kind of vet the events. And it's the same team that's gonna be the one that's gonna bring y'all back categories for the funding. This team will make the decision on what category these events fall in, and then that'll be up to y'all to make a decision on whether you want to get funding or not. The special team is Jessica Cruz, Courtney James, Amanda Tuberville from Public Works, Toby Williams, the Police Department, Erica Gentry, Police Department, Matthew Keefe, Police Department, Chad Bradford, Fire Marshal, Henry Blanco, he's the gentleman down at the taxi terminal, the boathouse. So he's kind of helped us with doing anything on the river. So him and Miss Marlene would know what's going on. So we won't have any conflicts. Marlene Lagasse, Kimberly Morgan from the Chambers. It's just only on big tournaments that she comes in, big events that she comes in on, but we keep her in the loop. And Tina Hitchcock, she's part of the EMS service that we utilize when we have bigger tournaments. So we want to keep everybody in the loop.
May I ask a question
Yeah.
with regards to the chamber, in these meetings, are there opportunities for individuals who may be putting on special events, that it's discussed that there may be funding through the chamber?
It's a possibility. If they bring it up to them, yes. They
No,
could.
I'm asking, can that not be a standard?
We can make it a standard. We can make it.
Not saying that everyone would apply, but I want, if we are, working as a team, I definitely think that all funding sources should be put on the table at the time of an event, for possible, consideration.
And what I do is I add another piece to the special event meetings to see if they want to apply for stuff.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
This team, I want to understand how this will be executed. So I'd like to use the Blue Crab Festival as an example. Don't use it as an example. No, I am going to use the Blue Crab as an example because remember now the Blue Crab Festival should be working like any other festival.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is not taboo. So so we have an application, we have a group that's been approved to do it. So is this kind of like the team, will this team meet to review applications? And identify needs in each of these departments?
That is correct.
Okay. In an instance, if the riverfront is not used in an event, for example, Henry Blandpro and Marlene
They
Lagasse.
won't be there.
Okay, so it's situational. So I just would maybe document that because the way it looks is if every, I think you said twice a month,
Yes.
this team will meet.
So to clear it up for you, Commissioner,
Yes,
if you stop at Chad Bradford, the fire marshal, that is the team that will meet every meeting.
okay,
Anything below that becomes a river, a bass tournament or something that has to do with the riverfront
okay.
or a big event like Bass Elite that the chamber will get involved.
Okay, great. Thank
Yeah.
you for the clarification. On your documentation, if you could just clarify that, maybe put a line, because
Yeah.
that's the committee and maybe as needed, depending on venue or whatever.
I think I got perfect work. I got you.
Okay,
I think I
yes,
got that.
okay, I just.
So next slide,
And
annual
one
events.
other thing, I'm sorry, one more thing. This team is just reviewing the needs from a city perspective, not giving feedback of how something's done or anything like that.
Yes, this team right now is just gonna give you what you will be needing from city services to make this gonna happen.
Thank
It'll
you.
give you, i.e., if the police department say you need 5 police officers for the
Thank you.
duration, boom, boom,
Got it.
boom. Chad say we need to inspect so many tents, so many food trucks. And if you need barriers, trash cans or something, that's where
Okay.
Amanda them will come in there.
Very good. Thank you very much.
This is a annual calendar of just the city events. These are just the city events that we do. This is not all the events. I think we gave you a calendar a while back of the 39 events that we do throughout the board, but this is just for the city stuff. Then our golf tournament and the mayor's reception, in February, and March, depending on how the mayor's reception falls. We got the Spring Summer Jam Series, Hippity Hoppity in April, 4th of July. Now we're in Riverside Fall Festival, Jingle Jam, and we're also gonna start a winter series for the Series Jam series. We're gonna do some in the winter. We're gonna try to highlight this down the downtown corners and kind of get the downtown businesses involved with this one. Hopefully, we're gonna meet with some of the downtown businesses next month to see if they get on board, and we're gonna start this in December. Next slide. These are just some of the events that we have put on. That golf tournament is a wonderful tournament. I had a commissioner come to one time, and I still have the video. Next slide. Next slide. Now, these are the annual events that we put on throughout the city. And that's city events and community events that people come in and host. Partnering events that we have that we're trying to partner with now, we're gonna try to partner with Juneteenth. We do the back to school bash, pink walk. We partner with the police department on the trunk or treat in Blue Avenue, and parades. Now we're gonna try to partner with the parades, with Sam Deputy and other parades that come through the city of Palaca. And then the last sheet is the funny thing that we've been talking about for the last couple of meetings. And it's pretty much Class A's will get $3,000 up to 2 days. Class B's will get $2,000, and Class C will get $1,000.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
Finish.
Mr. Cartwright, I just want to personally thank you. This is a great presentation. I think it lays out what's needed for our PIO. Now that we see the dates for the city-sponsored events, we can go ahead and get those on the website so people can understand what's happening. And thank you for not duplicating any efforts where someone has an established event or program that the city can partner with them. So we're not duplicating efforts and using unnecessary resources. I appreciate this presentation. It's very clear. Thank you very much.
Commissioners and Mayor, your voice always heard. Thank y'all for supporting us.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Potty? Okay, I'm going to open the floor to public comments for items not specifically listed on the agenda. Is anybody here for public comments, general items not on the agenda? Please come up and also fill out a yellow card when you're done. Provide your name and city, town of residence and 3 minutes, and please be respectful.
Good evening, my name is David Jenkins, and I'm here about the brawl that took place last Saturday. My grandson, Brayshawn Demagogue, was jumped on by 3 men. He suffered a gash up under his eye. He has epilepsy. Saturday, his mom took him to the hospital. They stitched up his eye. Monday morning, he had a seizure. His mom couldn't be here today due to the fact she has other kids at home and she didn't want to leave them. But I really feel as if the city of Palaca, I'm not gonna say city of Palaca, I'm gonna say the Palaca Police Department, every time something goes on the north side, and if something's going on, they turn a blind eye to it. They don't care about the residents over there. And for Beckham to say, let everybody go, there's not gonna be any charges filed, I really feel as if that's unacceptable.
Thank you. Is Chief Shaw available when we get to responses? Not quite yet. Thank you. Is there anything else, ma'am?
No, ma'am, that was it.
Thank you.
And I'm being nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comments for items not specifically on the agenda?
Could you let her know that there's a possibility, Ms. Jenkins, there's a possibility that there's a response?
There's gonna be a response, a
But we just can't
possibility.
make it.
We have to wait for everybody to have their opportunity at public comment, but at the end of that, we will respond. Thank you.
Hi,
Name?
City Mayor Correa and Commission. My name is Sam Carr. I'm 108 Riverside Drive, Satsuma, Florida. And this is
Mary Garcia. I'm on the board of the Park and Trail Society of Florida.
so I'm here and I'm here just in time because I too want to thank Eddie Cutright and his group. Is he elite? Did he leave?
He left.
I knew he would.
Oh.
Because this year will be the 10th year for the St. Johns River Bartram Frolic. We got some changes coming, but we want to thank this commission especially for the city's community affairs department, especially Eddie, Courtney James, Jessica Cruz, and Captain Toby Williams. We had our best event ever. This is our 10th one. And this past year, 2005, was our best year ever. And we had around 2,000 people show up. And we educated another 850 children in the riverfront while we did doing that. Yeah. So you're going to be passing a resolution later for the new Bartram event. It's going to be called the Bartram Frolic and Festival. It'll be April the 20th through the 26th of 2026. And it has moved from basically a one-day event to a three-day event, which was what everybody wanted. And again, you'll be going through the special event application this time was absolutely fabulous. All the people were aware that we needed to talk to, and they listened to all of our concerns and all of that kind of stuff. It really, really went well. And we really appreciate that. For those of you that don't know what the Bartram Frolic is about, in 2013, the City of Palatka and Putnam County Commission, the City Commission and Putnam County Commission approved a joint grant request from the Humanities Council of Florida. And that Humanities Council request was to build the Bartram Trail here in Putnam County. And the city's part of that was to provide the management of the grant, and then the county was going to provide other stuff such as signage and this, that, and the other. So that happened in 2013. In 2015, the national group, the Bartram Trail Florida, or Bartram Trail Council or Commission Conference, came to Palatka and brought over 500 people here to town. In 2016, the River Center was built, and we were built as part of the River Center. So we were involved in all of that. And in 2016, the Department of the Interior designated the trail that this city and county that built as a national recreation trail. So congratulations to all of us. In the fall of 2016, the Bartram Trail Frolic was formed in this room. And we really appreciated that. And then shortly thereafter, in 2017, the River Keeper came to town, worked with the city or with the school department. And since then, we have educated every second grader in Putnam County about William Bartram and the St. Johns River. 5,000 children since we started this thing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I'm
I
sorry.
appreciate it. I just want to say thank you,
Thank you
especially to Ed.
for everything you do. Robert Moore.
Good evening. I have a comment tonight. Does relate to one of the agenda items, but more importantly, so I'll start by saying my name is Robert Moore. I started with the city as an employee in 2010. I'm a lieutenant with the Palatka Fire Department. So I'm here in regards to one of the agenda items as far as our contract. Like I said, more importantly, I'd really like to recognize the women up front, Ms. Jones, Ms. Carty, Ms. West. This will be my 5th contract that I've had some sort of involvement in, whether just an employee, the negotiation committee. I no way, shape, or form want to take any credit for this contract. We have a group of firemen that work really hard. These ladies work really hard. And what I'm trying to say is I want to thank them for their hard work. It's recognized by us. We do feel like there's been great relationship made. Hopefully with this contract, it's nice to see our younger firemen, our 1 year, 2 year, 3 year employees, looking at a future here. That's something that in the 15 years I've been here hasn't been a real thing, right? We have a group of guys that are in the second half of their career, and we have a lot of really, really young people. Ultimately, for me, someone that won't be here in the next 5 to 10 years due to retirement, and a lot of our older guys, we need people to fill our spots. We need people to fill our shoes. We need these younger people to have the experience and the time to be able to serve the citizens. We have a really, really good group of people. A lot of young guys that are driven, that want to be here and that really enjoy it. And it's impressive to see. I've taught them as their instructors, and now as their officers responsible for them. So it's a pleasure to work with them. I want to thank these ladies for their help, for their understanding, the back and forth, and ultimately it was more of a pleasure than past contracts. So again, I just want to thank them and thank the commission and the mayor. So,
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Duke?
Vicky Duke, Palaca, Florida. I have a couple of questions. I know on the agenda at the last meeting, it must have gotten pulled. I had a question about the retaining wall on River Street that had been on there and it wasn't on, it got removed. I guess I didn't see it on there. At the last one, I wanted an update on, it looks terrible. But it's safe. But I want to update on when we're going to get that taken care of. And then I would like information on how many of the city properties are still in code violations that the city owns. Exactly how many buildings are still have code violations besides the Tillman House. And my surprise to have this meeting on Wednesday. I know there was issues with how you schedule them, but I try to schedule the things I have to keep these 2 Thursdays of every month open so I can come. But today I had to decide whether I follow what the Lord has me do on Wednesdays or whether I come to a city commissioner meeting. And I was not happy about that.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for general questions of items not specific on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll close public comment and we can provide responses.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. As it relates to, I'm gonna do may I, you don't mind if I
Can we do
talk
it in
about
order,
the,
please?
okay, retraining
Let's do it in order of the.
in order?
Do
All right,
Chief
so
Shaw,
police
please,
chief come up.
Thank
Thank you.
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, ma'am. Jason Shaw, Chief of Police, City of Palaca. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. In response to Ms. Jenkins' statements, I believe you all already know the work that we're putting on in the North Side area. In particular, we made an arrest in a case involving her daughter as a victim with a shooting towards the house. So I'll just bring that one up specifically. Those 2 individuals were arrested and put in jail. We've made a number of different arrests on the North Side with some of our violent cases that we've had. So by no means do we turn a blind eye to activity on the North Side. I think it's important to understand that in many of the cases we have without cooperation, it doesn't happen in a 30-minute span of time. It has to involve further investigation. We need to look into it a little further so that we don't make haste decisions and those decisions are wrong decisions. In the case of this past weekend, there was a very large incident, a fight that involved multiple people. There was no one to turn over video at the scene, and we did not get video the day of, and we are still looking into it further. The fact that action wasn't taken then does not mean action will not be taken. It means that we need time to properly investigate the situation before we can take further action.
Thank you. Thank you.
As it relates to,
Retaining wall?
the retaining wall, what I'd like to let you understand that, the engineering, design, all of that has been completed, and we, are actually going to be project manager. Could you come up, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. Project Manager Carlos Dominguez. Retaining wall project, it's out to bid. Has been like 1 week or 2 weeks ago. We're opening the bids, I believe, by the end of this month on that project.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City
Um,
code violations? I'm sorry.
That I will have to research. I'm
Just
not
one-
sure if,
one item before we move.
are you able to answer
One
that?
second, please.
Yes,
Just
sir.
on the retaining wall, as I think Commissioner Campbell had asked the last time, did we have the right proper barricades in place for the areas that's unsafe so that we keep the citizens pedestrians safe as it relates to the areas?
And that's been done. It's not pretty. I
It's
agree.
done. I saw
But
it.
it has been done.
It is done.
Right. We just want to
Yes.
make sure there's not something that could be easily moved
Right.
where it will present, represent
Yes, sir.
the
Liability. and
risk
so forth,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
We did follow the recommendation immediately. And so it
I
has
just
been,
wanted to make sure we had that in place. Thank you.
yes. Are you able to answer?
Code enforcement.
I'm bringing up the planning director and code enforcement.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, I don't have that information, but I can get that information for you. With the city own more than 100 properties, of which, some of them are vacant, obviously. But we do continue enforcing our code to city-owned properties. A good example is the airport. We just issued a notice of violation to the airport for various items, and so I can get the information for the next meeting.
Thank
And
you.
as it relates to why we're here on a Wednesday, state regulation, because this is a first read for our budget. So we were forced to do it today or requested.
Also, because we can't conflict with any of the taxing authorities. and the
Exactly.
School board had already scheduled their meeting for tomorrow, so we had to do it at a separate date, so the public has an opportunity to hear all the taxing entities' budget reviews and such.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to the consent agenda. Is there any items to be pulled? Anyone? Commissioner Davis, did you have something?
Yeah, I have, D, because I have a question. Just.
C or C,
Is it C?
C,
C?
8C?
Oh,
5.
that's.
No, that's not Isaiah, President.
We're on the consent agenda, 5.
Oh, so, all right, sorry about that. No, no words on that.
Okay.
H
H.
and K.
Anybody else?
Ma'am, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the consent agenda excluding items D, H, and K for discussion.
Second.
We have a motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. D, Commissioner Davis?
Yes, quick question. When Mr. Carr came up, I thought he said a 3-day event. Are the dates on the resolution, does that include setup and the actual dates of the festival or the weekend? Just want to get clarification because I think it says the 21st through the 26th, but I know it's a 3-day event.
Is that to accommodate the students during the week?
That's
That's what
part of
I'm
it,
guessing.
but let me get my notes here. Sam Carr, yes, it's 21st to the 26th. The first couple of days, we have students that come down there and kind of relive the reenactment of the Bocce Frolic.
Got it.
And then the festival is a piece he just added this past year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Move to, move to, approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is anybody here for public comment on this? Seeing none, we close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to H.
It was D.
Commissioner-
Did someone pull D?
We did just did D. H. Commissioner Jones?
Yes. This is resolution 2025 R-121. Community Affairs is requesting to change the name of the Jenkins Building and the colors of the Jenkins Building. That's Robert H. Jenkins Building, and the logo for the Community Affairs. In which I only want to recognize and kind of question, just not really a question. It's a statement. It's a statement that Robert H. Jenkins is a wartime hero from Vietnam. And that school was named after Robert H. Jenkins. I remember in the 5th grade, the county had a survey and was asking about naming our new high school, Palaca High School, and the colors and the mascot and stuff like that. It was a big deal. And Robert H. Jenkins had already been assigned to the old Central Academy School back in the day. So he was a wartime hero who actually lived in Interlochen, but he graduated from Central Academy. And so I think the history was because of what he did. He saved his troop, his platoon back then. And now that that school is gone, the gym is the only thing that actually commemorates him and honor him in our neighborhood. And I was just wondering, could we even consider incorporating still the name of Robert H. Jenkins with the name in some kind of way, whether it's the Robert H. Jenkins Gymnasium at the Palaca Community Affairs and Recreation Department, some type of significance, because in our city, the city of Palaca, I don't think we have an African-American wartime hero name on anything, any building in our community.
Well,
In addition to that, I support that wholeheartedly. I want to know how did we navigate away from the original name that was discussed from the Northside Neighborhood Facility?
how we navigated from it?
How did we navigate away from it?
Well, we actually didn't navigate for it. I think at one point in this, it had 3 recommendations to it. And one of the recommendations that we wanted was the Northside Community Recreation Center. Because we wanted the facility, we wanted to be more welcome, a community center, not just a facility. So that's how we came up with that. But now the names we gave was several different names. And the Robert H. Jenkins, I do wholeheartedly, with my military background, understand that we was gonna name some rooms out there inside the building. But it's easy to make whatever name we put and then say also Robert H. Jenkins Gymnasium. So we can tie that in easily. But the name, when we had the discussions with the African-American team that we had over the museum, some of the names that came up was going back to the old school neighborhood facility. The purple and gold came from there too. And then we added a couple spins, but we wanted to put some recreation in there. So that's where the neighborhood, Northside Community and Recreation Center became one of our fixtures. That was just one of the ones that we wanted to go with. Now, we have 3 different names that should have been on there, but at the end of the day, we can make the names. I just want us to name the building so we can start bringing marquees in, changing the color, and also making the building known throughout the city instead of being Jenkins Community Center.
Can it still be the Jenkins Building and maybe having a marker there with the history of Robert Jenkins, that you can get a historical marker posted there so people know who Mr. Jenkins was, because he was so significant to this community, and his military history shouldn't be forgotten. Go ahead.
I just want to say I'm a proponent of it being the Northside Community and Recreation Center versus facility, because facility can mean anything. But community and recreation center, I think, is lends well to what it's used for. But I am definitely supportive of having the Robert H. Jenkins Gymnasium.
And we could.
And I would like to say that when the name was occurring and there was another name, my mother got a petition, so it's important to me. And she was asked if you could find someone in the community, and Robert Jenkins was selected. The petition passed and the name changed. So it's very personal to me as well. But I do think we should honor him in some way.
And I think a historic marker might be great to have somewhere on the
So-
property. So people
In,
can-
in
Younger
in
people.
conjunction with that?
Yes,
the
in
naming?
conjunction with that, so young people can
Need a
learn
motion?
more about the history as well.
May I make?
I'm for it, but I think he's more worthy than a gym. I
It's a
think
building.
the building should reflect what the sacrifice that was made. So I'm for the name. I just don't want him to be limited to a gym because nothing that he did was playful on that battlefield. But commemorating the entire building just shows a staple in the community, something his name will be forever remembered. And also, as we make this decision, that we put in whatever resolution that it cannot be changed.
Well, I'm waiting, yeah, are you also, Commissioner Davis?
I'm making a motion, so. I move that the name change, the name be changed to the Robert H. Jenkins Community and Recreation Center, and a marker be placed with the historical information related to Robert H. Jenkins.
Second.
And the colors, I'm sorry, and the colors,
I'm fine with the colors. I'm talking
purple
about.
and gold. I just
the
want to
name
put it in the
change.
motion. And that the name cannot be changed.
I
Second.
second that motion.
Yes, second.
We have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you.
No.
Yeah, y'all like, you like my logo too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners, thank you.
Kay? That's you.
K is, and also me, I have a question in reference to the Police Benevolent Association contract. And that. It's okay. Who's gonna be up and speak on that? Do you want to pull that, city manager, as we discussed earlier, or do you want me to we want to discuss?
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
We don't know yet. We're waiting. Well, that's the question. That's the person. 1 minute.
There are some errors and there are also some things that I thought we had squared away previously. But
Okay, so I'm seeking legal guidance to make sure we move forward correctly. So I think it's fine if we, okay, we've had the police to meet with each commissioner and to express everything. So this would be a decision that the commissioners really would need to make. What would you like to do? Or can we just be open and talk about what the matters are?
Well, I think we don't know what the real issues are here. I mean, I'm a bit perplexed. Yes, we did meet with Chief Shaw.
Okay,
Minute, Commissioner, go ahead, Commissioner.
I have not had an opportunity to meet.
okay, so then we could pull it completely off, or
What is the timeline on this?
we have to have it done at least by the next one,
Well, the deadline is September 30th, is when it expires and it defaults to
right?
the previous contract.
So we must have it done definitely with that next meeting.
Okay, Commissioner Davis.
I'm not a proponent of having this pulled. Unless, I don't understand, first, I don't understand what the questions, if there are specific questions, so I do want to yield to that first. Let me just see what the questions are and then I'll give my comments.
Okay, I was just giving the opportunity to the city manager because we spoke on it and she mentioned that. I am prepared to speak on the issues that I have with the contract. And just so the public know that we're not going back and forth, we're not able to speak together collectively as a commission on it. So there are some asks from the union, and this contract was negotiated by our city manager, the attorney, along with that organization. And there was some ask that officers would be paid an additional $3,500 in addition to their salaries for being certified in a certain area. Now, these areas actually included being a field training officer, working with the PAL, or PAL certified, team, somebody who worked for the suppression team, a master officer, special enforcement team, evidence tech, field training officer, or detective. There's about 7 or 8 auxiliaries that is eligible for this type of funds. The history, the Putnam County Sheriff's Office auxiliaries get $5,000 per year for the same certifications. My question was, for these same certifications, working in an area a quarter of the size of the county, are we prepared to be able to pay our officers $3,500 per officer per certification? With all things being considered, for an example, one officer that may have 3 certifications, that would be an additional $14,000 added to their salary. And according to the matrix that was provided after I asked in the last meeting, that included all of our officers, all of our sworn officers, which is, what is it, 47? Oh, 42? So 42 of our officers. So an example like that, I was wondering, would we be able to take that type of hit from each officer for each auxiliary pay? So you're adding, and that's just if they had 3 certifications. They could have 7. So 7 at that same rate, $3,500. It'd be an extra $24,000 per salary. So if officers making $50,000 a year, their salary could go up to $74,500.
So. Go ahead.
That's just on that one issue, but go ahead.
Okay, Commissioner, I would like to respond, but in order to do that, I'm going to have 2 people respond to you. The first one would be Chief and also Human Resources.
Would you like to go first? I can respond to the stipends, eligibility for the stipends and number of stipends. And if you want to respond to, I don't know the other question.
Well, you know,
It's simple math. If
okay, is it possible that one person could have 5% stipend?
Oh,
That's what
no,
we asked.
okay. No, I can take care of that. I apologize. First, our stipends as expressed cover areas that don't fall in their job descriptions. It's extra areas, as explained before, that if we didn't do in-house, we would actually have to go out and get paid services to do outside of it. It actually allows us to save a little bit of money. It allows for us to get better trained officers internally so we can provide a better product. We have no officers currently at the police department that have 7 stipends. I can tell you that now. If so, I would be one of them, not to balloon my salary, but I would qualify for those areas. But we don't have 7 officers. I did agree with, and we are working in that process with what Commissioner Jones stated about making sure we had some language that included a set number of stipends. But I caution us to the fact that we have to be careful. He mentioned 3. So I caution us to the fact that you have to understand that if we don't have anybody eligible to receive a stipend in that area, we do by law have to go outside and recruit or do a contract with someone to come in to do the training for us. So when we do things like that, I think when the opportunity becomes available for other people to get certified and get in that area, we do make it to where they can get that stipend. But I don't think we should limit ourselves to the opportunity of not having someone in-house to be able to deliver that training or be able to, in the event, not only get better for their own career and better themselves, but better the product of the city of Palatka, which is within the Palatka Police Department. In order to, on some of them, in order to be placed on the unit, they have to go through an oral board. They have to apply for it. They have to receive the education and the certificate, and they have to be able to perform sufficiently in that area to continue. The other thing about the stipend is the stipend only does it temporarily while you're acting in that field. If you were to be removed from that area, you would no longer receive the stipend. It makes it eligible for someone else to receive the stipend. So it's not something that you could do for to remain for long term. So those are a basic description of basically how our stipends work, how the stipends was originally set up to benefit not the officers, but the department and the city, and how we utilize them now. He did make some very good points in our discussion, and it was heated, and we are looking to add the verbiage and create the portion for the policy that outlines the number of the maximum stipends that you can have. And that will be something that once we get completed, we'll make sure we present to the city manager so she can present to each one of you.
Thank you for that, Chief. But I want to direct your attention to Article 12, Section 3, that addresses exactly what you're saying, that's contrary to basically what you're saying. And you also said that you got that you guys go back, but we're talking about approving something now. I want to approve a finished product. I think that's what you have before us to do it. And you said there's no one that's receiving 7 stipends. I understand that. But is it a possibility that it can? Because all of these are obtainable. Or are they not?
Well,
come on, Chief.
I'm gonna come on.
Just
I'm
yes or
coming.
no.
I'm coming if you let me come.
And this for the sake of time, my question is, are they obtainable?
I understand your question, and that's why I stated, yes, they are. I would have all of them if they were, but I don't. So it's equally spread out in the fact that when we have other people that are eligible to receive the stipends, they get the stipends. It's when we don't have people that are eligible to receive the stipends where we have to fall back to those who have that training.
Got it. I understand. And I appreciate that. But so commissioners, this is for commissioners and education purposes, Article 12, Section 3, if I'm understanding it right, Article 12, it say wages in the section 1, 2, and 3.
Let me tell them, page 436 of 841. That's what he's referring to.
It's that little chart of sorts.
Yeah. That's what he's referring to.
That lists the
Right, you have to
eligible stipends.
click final contract part 2.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Pull up the contract.
So it reads right there. So if you reads was stricken, and then you read the final product. And you can also go down to section 4. These contracts are negotiable for a reason, because usually they ask for higher things, and you know how to negotiate. I think everybody up here does. So section 4, if you go down to the bottom, when it's in addition to the other pay, bargaining unit members working as a certified instructor, that's just an instructor now, will receive a stipend of, it said, it used to be, or currently I guess is $46.16 per pay period, but it will go up to $90 per pay period that they work as a certified instructor.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis, if Commissioner
I'm waiting for.
Jones.
Commissioner Jones.
Or not. He might
Thank
not.
you. So, when I look at that, I do understand that's when they are instructing. When they're not instructing, that means the teachers that you say you have to go out and get. When they're not, do they still get the $96
And
$90 per pay period or not?
Yes,
They still get it
yes.
in addition to, right?
Yes, but like I made the statement before to you, we're training throughout the year. So to take it on and take it off, it really doesn't benefit you at all because overall, to go out and get a certified instructor to come in 6 to 8 times a year, you're paying almost 3 times that amount. So to pay them that amount and not necessarily put it on and put it off, you're actually benefiting as the city. The second thing is if you look at that for the pay period, if you multiply that pay period, I believe that makes 26 pay periods in a week. That's less than the $3,500 that you're talking about up top.
Right. For that.
Correct.
Just for that, but that's in addition to their regular salary. These are just questions I have, and I want
that's
to
what
make
you're
sure
trying to
that
answer your
we
question.
all are up here on the same page. You had a question before I go?
No,
Well-
that's a general comment, so you can finish.
Yes, ma'am. I think. So the last thing that I actually had, and Chief, you didn't negotiate this, right? This is just.
No, sir.
What's your role in this?
Good. I'm glad you
I
asked.
need to know.
I'm glad you asked that question because I don't benefit from the police union at all.
I want to get.
I'm actually the liaison in between for the city as well as the union to be able to stand in place like I'm doing now to answer any questions anyone may have. For the simple fact that, one, I carry the most experience and the knowledge for the policies and procedures and what's going on at the police department and where it would best fit for the city and explain what the officers are attempting to articulate in their union contract.
Great. So when I did the comparison, not to cut our officers and our professionals short, when I said 5,000 versus 3,500 versus the 2,000 that I proposed, and I gave the example or the reasoning for my proposal based on the population that we serve, and that goes from our services that we utilize and our taxpayers pay for, as well as what we will be paying for as we get from services from our law enforcement services. So, not discrediting because they're putting their life on the line every day. So, but I did have a problem with the 3,500 and the 5,000. And I thought the last time we talked, it was like 2,500 from the city manager. And, but in this contract to be passed, it says 3,500. How did we get there?
Yes, I can explain.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I speak to all 5 commissioners. And when I speak to all 5, I listen to what they're saying. And you were the only one of the 5 that advocated the 2,500. The rest that I understood when I met with them were fine with it. And I did meet with each one. I did have my police chief. Didn't we?
No.
Who did we not
I'll
meet
quickly
with?
explain.
Okay.
For the night of the meeting, I did ask everyone if they had any further questions. We did have a conflict with Commissioner Borm's meeting, so we didn't get a chance to actually sit and meet
Okay.
with Commissioner Borm
All
for the
right.
Friday meeting. But we did discuss with Commissioner Campbell and Commissioner Davis and Mayor Correa in regards to the meetings, and they were fine with what they had and didn't have any further questions or need to meet with us.
All right. And so because of that, I left it at the 3,500.
Commissioner Davis first.
Okay, so this is a contract which pretty much, to Commissioner Jones's question, the stipends, really the contract is setting the amount if that criteria is met, correct?
Correct.
So there's a contract, and as you mentioned, I heard you mention there will be policies and procedures that support this contract.
Correct.
Okay, and so it could, make some appropriate recommendations, and we'll see that the commission, it'll come before the commission when it's finished and we can approve it, correct? Okay, so the one thing I want to do is separate the contract from the way we are meeting the contract terms. And it sounds like there's some ability to limit your concern about 7 versus 3, someone
Right.
getting all 7. So I do hear that possibility, which would not impact the contract as it's presented right now. The second thing I want to confirm is that in terms of service, and let me be clear, I am speaking strictly from a business mind. I know Commissioner Jones was an officer, so. And the way I see the city and the county, our borders are very fluid, thank you. And so while if we compare apples to apples as best we can with the county versus the city, yes, they have the whole county. The city is a subset of the county. However, I don't know that it's a 1-to-1 ratio saying they're 5,000 and the recommendation, this contract is 3,500. I don't see that as a deal breaker. The other thing I want to say is one of our primary focuses for our community is public safety, right? And I want to ask you in terms of salary, I mean, how does the city police department fare in terms of salary as compared to surrounding areas?
So are we competitive so that we
That-
retain?
That's
get
my
quality
question.
Retain, yeah.
So that's a concern, and I think we have to remain. I do want to say that I had the opportunity and privilege to attend the Northeast Florida Crime Stoppers Awards last week. And, sitting with Chief Shaw, a couple of times, officers went up to get awards and he said, oh, they came from Palatka, they came from Palatka, they came from Palatka. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. I really wish they were still here. And I don't want us to be a training ground doing great training. And this is the same for the fire department, but then we can't retain these officers after and firefighters after we're pouring into them. So that's number one. Number two is in terms of the stipend. I heard that there's an application process, that you got to go to the training, you got to operate in that area. And I think that gives our officers opportunity to prepare for next level or promotions when they become available. And not only that, but just increase the depth of knowledge in our police force. So I am a proponent of approving this contract as it exists for all of those reasons. And again, I think we have the opportunity to address Commissioner Jones's concerns when we look at the policies and procedures. But in terms of the contract, I think it's reasonable. I think it's more than fair, and I think it's necessary for our officers to have these opportunities to increase their knowledge, be prepared for promotions, and to be competitive in this area. Thank you.
Commissioner Moore?
Yeah, yes, I thank you, Mayor. But again, I'm one of the biggest fans of public health and safety. That's always on the top of our list. At the same time, everything still has to be affordable as well. So I always like to look at the bottom line as it relates to what is the overall cost. And the same thing I went through with the fire department. We talked to it. We went through the presentation. I have not had the opportunity to speak with Chief Shaw or you because I was set for the meeting. The meeting got canceled due to Chief Shaw having another engagement. And so that's the only reason that I was not afforded the opportunity to meet, because I was available. Chief Shaw had a conflicting appointment. And so I had not had opportunity to walk through it with you, and I thought you would have known that. But so I would like the opportunity. in terms of the numbers and where we are, if those things can be changed or whatever, I'll be fine with it, but we have to come to some happy medium as it relates to what's affordable for the city. We would love to, and we've gone through a number of iterations as it related to pay for individuals in our city. We 2018, we did the study. We went out and reclassed various jobs and different things of that nature. 2023, we came back again and amped up more funds. But again, when we look at the overall budget and how that looks, what we take in terms of ad valorem tax, roughly about 4.7, 4.8 million.
Right.
We got two departments that will consume that right away, and that is police and fire. And we need to continue to put money into those areas. But those two, it take up all of that ad valorem, plus we have to go into our right. So we got other departments as well. So my thing is, let's see what the affordability is. That's what I like to see, our overall impact, before we just make a decision and not knowing if we got the funds to be able to sustain that. So I would like to at least still have a conversation and look at the presentation.
Yes, sir. If I may respond
go ahead.
also, if I may.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So in the presentation, we did, I'm sorry that you did not get that. I thought.
I wasn't afforded the opportunity.
Yes,
Okay.
I understand it.
So in order for us to, it appears that nothing will get accomplished tonight because Commissioner Bourne was not afforded that opportunity. Is there an opportunity for us to pull this? You get with the commissioners individually once again, however that may look, so that they're able, everyone has the same playing ground. If this is not an immediate action that we need to take, because I do believe that Commissioner Jones asked that it be removed.
Having trouble hearing you in the audience, seriously.
To be removed before we actually had the discussion in depth. And I think it will give an opportunity that when we do come back, because again, I don't believe it's fair, that Commissioner Borum did not have the opportunity, and it gives him the opportunity. I still stand by what I said with regards to my conversation and not needing the meeting, because I am in the same mind frame of Commissioner Davis. But again, I just don't feel like the back and forth is going to accomplish anything at this point, because even if it was to go up for a vote, again, Commissioner Borum did not have that opportunity based on a conflicting.
Yes, sir. So.
Could you speak to the budget aspect of it, Ms. Carly?
That's
I think
what
you're
I
going
want to let
Go
you know,
ahead.
that the amount, the additional amount to meet the needs of the union, I think it was 168,000.
Overall, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, about 168,000. If we did nothing and it just stayed as it was, I believe it was 90,000 if we did nothing, something like that.
believe it's
You were
100.
more in depth with those numbers.
I
Or was
believe
it
it's
57?
it's 108.
108, right. So the differential was like 60,000. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
But the
So
other
if we
prop-
did nothing, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If we did nothing, right, and we allowed the thing to, we did nothing, then we would still have to put in the budget additionally 108. Correct?
Correct.
Right, now by putting in the union changes that we have here, the increment is 160, the difference was only 60,000.
And to also kind of go back to some things Chief Ross said, these are requirements, training wise. If we don't have people that are certified to provide that training within the police department, then we have to contract out. And it sounds to me we're going to be spending a lot more than that if we were to do that. To me, it's fairly clear. I concur with Commissioner Davis. I hate procrastination, which I think is what we're doing again.
I will say this because I had the floor and you just took the floor from me. You guys, yes, you did. You took the floor. So I'm taking it back. And I'm gonna say this and just make it clear. My purpose was not to say that our department didn't need this. It's not to say that we're not being a training ground, because we've been trying for years not to be a training ground, but that's gonna always happen. It's just because a small department is gonna accept more newbies than a bigger department. So that's gonna happen. However, I wanted to bring awareness to what we're signing on to, because one thing always happened. When it come back to us up here, they always said, you guys signed off on it. So I wanted to let you know what you're signing off on and being clear, transparent. There is also, was a section in here of Article 21, but I'm not going to mention it again because we did sign off on it, and it's up here again with the union, because it's a play on, it's different wording in it, and I caught it. But okay, we're okay with the negotiations. I'm one guy over here and one vote. I just wanted to let our constituents know how I feel about it. I put it out on there, and I'm just one commissioner, I'm your commissioner. So I wanted to put it out there on how we're spending our tax dollars. And I'm done with it. So whether you pull it or vote on it to pass right now, it's okay with me.
Commissioner Borum.
Mayor, you're the facilitator of the meeting, and you set kind of the precedence of how things work. And when you make comments toward other commissioners about procrastination and other things like that, I think that's not appropriate.
I made a general statement. It wasn't directed at anyone in particular. It's about
The
approving
community is not procrastinating. We're the ones up here
it was a
voting.
general comment.
It was a general comment directed.
We're not
And I
going
don't-
to argue. I'm not.
I'm not
gonna
arguing, I'm
argue.
making a statement.
Okay. You made
But
your
anyway, I just think it's inappropriate.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
I'm not finished.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not finished.
I just learned additional information from Ms. Cardy, that the total amount, if you did nothing, is 108,000. And the maximum would be 168,000. So that being said, coming and understanding that piece of it, that makes me a little bit more knowledgeable about what I would be voting on. And you were asking me to vote on something I didn't even know what the numbers were. So I don't think that's appropriate. I'm good with the numbers, but then if there's other things that Commissioner Jones would like to look at in terms of, I think that need to be taken in consideration as well. But I'm good with the numbers. But I just don't like when I get these angle comments. That's what I don't like.
Ms. Carter, if I may, I believe the Commissioner Moore, I'm not sure, but I believe all of the information was sent out to each commissioner with those totals on it, with those numbers on it already. And that was the information that we preferenced to talk about at the meeting.
Right, but then again, like when I walked through it with the fire department, we walked through and I had questions of certain things, and we walked through those questions.
Yes, sir. I don't disagree with that.
I did not have the opportunity, and it was something outside of my control, which you had an appointment that you had to make it. I didn't get a chance, and so that was my other pause. I had two things.
No, I was just wanting to make sure you did get the information in your email in reference to those numbers. That's the only question I'm asking you. Because in order for you, if you didn't, then I want to make sure we get it to you before we have our next meeting.
It's in the email.
We'll
Okay.
make sure.
Thank you.
Commissioner Davis.
I move that we approve consent agenda 5K.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Anybody here for public comment on this item? Come up, Ms. Kitchens.
I agree with Commissioner Davis. And the police department has been bleeding police officers since at least 2015 due to the sheriff's office and adjoining counties paying more money. So I think this will help keep our police officers, and $60,000 more is it's nothing. When you add it, that each of you get $5,000 special events per year, that's $25,000 for spending money for special events. And then you figure out how much money you're gonna give each special event promoter this year. I think that the police department, 60,000 pales in comparison. So please support the police department. We need them desperately. You just heard this young lady talk about one of her family members got injured. We need the police department and we need to keep them. We have trained them in years past. Mr. Jones knows that. And then when they get trained here, they go someplace else for more money. So approve this, no problem with it. And Mr. Borum, I understand what you're saying. when I was on the commission and I had questions like that and couldn't meet with staff, I went through what was in the agenda. I wrote the questions down. I emailed the staff the questions so that I had the questions. So that might be an option for you in the future. And as to procrastination, I know what the mayor meant. I didn't take it as any of you being insulted, but it was talking about all the things that are tabled or continued. It was a general statement. I didn't take it as a personal insult to anybody, and I'm sorry that you felt you were personally insulted, but I didn't think it insulted any of you, so I hope you weren't insulted by it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else here for public comments on this topic? Seeing none, we close public comments. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Do we want to take a break or keep going? Okay, just double check. On to 6B, Larimer RFP bid protest.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is a bid protest agenda item. And the procedure that the city must follow is codified in our purchasing policy in section 11. I'm going to briefly read that section so you understand how we got here. We had a bid protest on the awarding the Larimer RFP. When we do have a bid protest, what is required is the General Services Director shall conduct a meeting with the protesting party to attempt an amicable resolution of the protest. If such resolution does not occur, the General Services Director shall forward to the City Manager a recommendation which shall include background information related to the bid. The City Manager or designee shall attempt to resolve the protest. If such resolution does not occur, the City Manager shall forward to the Commission for a recommendation which shall include background information related to the bid. The Commission shall thereafter conduct an informal hearing at a regularly scheduled meeting. And that is how we got here. So the first item you're going to see is obviously the staff report, where we have made the staff recommendation affirming the analysis by the project manager and the finance director that supported the rankings of the evaluation committee in this particular RFP. The second item in your agenda package is the informal hearing template. This is the informal hearing. We have divided the time slots into two sections: a presentation by the Arts Council of Greater Palatka of 10 minutes. That is the protesting party here. And then also, as required, by our purchasing policy, the presentation must involve all parties. And therefore, there will be a presentation by the River City Players, the Arts Alliance of Putnam, and the Gathering Artists of Putnam, cumulatively, because they were the other entity that was awarded the bid. And they will also get 10 minutes. There is no public comment for this particular agenda item. Then it goes back to the commission for deliberation, and you must render a decision on the merits of the protest to have a final action on this particular bid protest. And so that is the template that we are following. And with that, we will commence with the presentation for a 10-minute time period by the Arts Council of Greater Palatka.
Please give us your name and city or town of residence when you get up to the podium. Thank you.
So do any of you want the presentation itself?
I do.
Okay.
We do, but can you give us your name, please? Thank you.
I have a few additional copies if anyone else.
This is 10 minutes.
That's really, please don't do that.
Okay.
Please come up and give us your presentation.
Okay.
We're gonna have to start the clock over again, please. Sorry. Oh, you haven't started? Yes, start the clock. Oh, I'm trying to get it.
May I begin? Okay. Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. I'm Dustin Watkins, Executive Director of the Arts Council of Greater Palaco. We have been Putnam County's designated local arts agency since 1975 and have stewarded the Larimer Arts Center for more than 25 years. I appear on behalf of the Arts Council concerning the protest of RFP 2025-01. First, jurisdiction. For the record, the Commission does not have jurisdiction over this protest. At the July 8th Evaluation Committee meeting, the City Attorney, Jane West, confirmed that Florida's statute governs the appeal process. The Evaluation Committee results, the effective note of intent to award, again cited Florida Statute 12057 subsection 3. These elections of statute are binding and preserved in the record. Meanwhile, Section 11 of the city's purchasing policy requires every solicitation to include a waiver clause. That clause is absent. By omitting it, the city waived its own policies. Florida Statute 12057 subsection 3, subsection B through D imposes strict deadlines. Protesters have 72 hours to file a notice of intent to protest, 10 days to file a formal written protest, and the agency has 7 business days to resolve the protest or escalate it to the Division of Administrative Hearings. We met our deadlines. The city did not meet its. The city's late reliance on the purchasing policy is not a harmless mistake. It is a jurisdictional trap. Only after the protest was filed did the city staff begin invoking that policy retroactively. That maneuver is designed to deprive protesters of the process the city itself elected under statute, and to suppress escalation to an impartial tribunal with trial-like procedures, namely the Division of Administrative Hearings. Any award or cancellation attempted here tonight is outside the legal authority of the commission and void. The very structure of this hearing is at odds with protest resolution. The protest concerns procedural defects in the city's procurement process. The inclusion of River City Players, Gathering Artists of Putnam, and Arts Alliance of Putnam is merely diversionary to the substance of the protest. Framing this as a reevaluation of proposal merits is irrelevant because what is under protest are the city's actions, not the content of any proposal. Under Florida Statute 12057 subsection 3 subsection D, the city had only 2 lawful options: resolve the protest or refer it to the Division of Administrative Hearings. By staging this hearing instead, the commission positions itself outside of that lawful framework. To proceed here is not neutrality, it is complicity in perpetuating the very defects under protest. Second, staff report errors. The staff report before you, included in the agenda packet, is fatally defective. It claims the bid protest is included in your packet. It is not. The packet contains only a notice of intent to protest, which, as its title suggests, is merely a notice of intent to protest. The operative filing, the formal written protest, and actual bid protest is omitted. The staff report also says our protest was comprehensively addressed in a July 16th memorandum. That is false. The protest was filed on July 18th, 2 days later. The memo could not have addressed a document that did not yet exist. In reality, our protest refutes the city's memo point by point. Third, conflicts of interest. Several conflicts undermine this process. Jane West. This conflict isn't about personal enrichment. It's about collapsing roles that must stay separate. As drafter, she created the rules for the competition. As counsel, she was supposed to advise on how these rules were applied and defended. As evaluator, she judged the competitors under the rules she wrote, and she went further. At the evaluation committee meeting, she enforced post-solicitation scoring alterations, violating the very rules she herself had drafted. No sport, no contest, no fair proceeding allows one person to write the rules, play the game, referee it, and alter the rules mid-game. The conflict deepened when she drafted her own defense in the city's July 16th memo, reducing a structural conflict to a question of personal gain, and metadata confirms that she authored the template of this very hearing, framing it as a merits review instead of a protest of the city's procedure. This is the essence of a dual role conflict, the same official creating, interpreting, defending, enforcing, and even violating the process. That cannot produce a neutral outcome. Mayor Robbie Carrera is a founding member of the Gathering Artists of Putnam. Its own website says so. That creates a clear appearance of impropriety, especially where her vote could, assuming that this was the proper forum, be decisive. Carlos Dominguez Brito. Carlos Dominguez Brito circulated, he dispersed altered scoring criteria to the evaluation committee after the close of solicitations, decreasing weight for facility maintenance and inflating finances. That prejudiced the evaluation. These are not minor lapses. They are structural conflicts that go to the heart of procedural integrity. Fourth, competing bidders. This protest is about the city procedure, not merits of proposals, but context matters. River City Players has operated since 2018, paying roughly $4,500 annually to the Arts Council, 10% of its gross proceeds. That does not cover utilities and amounts to a subsidy by the Arts Council. Gathering Artists of Putnam was founded by the sitting mayor. Arts Alliance of Putnam was incorporated only 2 months before the issuance of the RFP, with overlapping leadership and addresses with a gap. It appears engineered to circumvent any potential restrictions against for-profit entities occupying the Larimer building. Together, these facts reinforce the city's procurement posture was neither neutral nor competitive, and this leads to yet another potential defect. The city knows that the Larimer property is subject to the Mellon Reverter Clause, a deed restriction tied to the building's use. Yet the RFP is silent on this condition. By omitting it, the city misrepresented the very interest being solicited. It invites bids without disclosing restrictions that may bar certain entities from occupying the building at all. City Attorney Jane West in Internal Communications volunteered to sit on the evaluation committee because she had studied this clause. Yet public records requests for the clause submitted on July 15th and again on August 6th have been non-responsive. Last 10 minutes is not nearly enough to cover and adjudicate the defects in the procurement of RFP 2025-01, but the central point is simple. The city chose to bind itself to state statute. The city missed its statutory deadlines. This commission does not have jurisdiction. Any actions taken here tonight are ultra vires beyond the city's legal authority. The proper venue is the Division of Administrative Hearings. No amount of rallying will change that. This is not a matter of popularity or reevaluation. It is a matter of violations that the very governing policy the city itself chose. Thank you. I'll see you the rest of my time.
Thank you. Next, we have the presentation by River City Players, the Arts Alliance of Putnam, and the Gathering Artists of Putnam LLC, also for a 10-minute time period.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Kevin Sharbaugh. I live at 114 Riverview Drive, East Palatka. I am speaking on behalf of River City Players, the Arts Alliance of Putnam, and the Gathering Artists of Putnam LLC. So, to begin, there's a lot of talk about Florida Statute 120.57. What you should also know is there's another section of that statute. First of all, Attorney West said that the time to protest was laid out in that statute, and that is true. The Section 3 does lay out the time for a protest. However, this section also deals with hearings involving disputed issues of material fact and also hearings involving issues with no disputed material fact. And what you have here is an issue where there is no disputed material fact. And when you look at that section of the statute, which is paragraph 2, it talks about having this form of a hearing, which you have here tonight. So I would argue that within the statute, it's clearly appropriate for you to be having this hearing this evening. In your packet, you did receive the underlying bids, responses from both of the organizations. I think that the evaluation committee formed their evaluation. I think other individuals can go and look at the bids that were proposed and form their own evaluation. I think we would stand very well from anybody going and just looking at the two. And you can strip names off them, it doesn't matter. Just look at what's there and what's being proposed. So that being said, I would basically request that the city commission follow staff recommendation and approve what has been presented to you by the evaluation committee. But before we go into all that, or along with all that, I'll give you some more information. First, there was some mention of a reverter clause. I will say I've heard that multiple times, and so I decided to do some investigation myself. The best I could come up with from Mr. Gullett, who went and pulled the deed files, was the actual deed of conveyance of the property upon which that building sits. It was in 1903 for, I believe, was $600. You bought the whole block over there. This was before the building was even there. So there's no reverter clause in a deed that I've been able to find. If there's any kind of restriction on the use of the building, it would have to be somewhere in city archive records where there was some kind of a grant that was contingent upon something. But we don't have that before us, and I've tried to find it personally. So I just put that to you. Now, we talk about or Mr. Watkins spoke about how long that the Arts Council has been the steward of the property. I'm glad he used that term and not the tenant, because we do not actually have a lease agreement that was ever in place here. What we had here was an Arts Council agreement back in 1997 between the city and the Arts Council, basically saying, hey, the city's going to agree to let the Arts Council manage the building and the schedule for a period of 20 years or until such time as either party cancels this within 90 days notice. So I would say back in 2017, after the 20 years, this agreement itself expired, if you want to see it under some kind of a lease, commercial lease agreement law or whatever. And at that point, you have what we call a tenancy at sufferance. And just the term kind of makes me think of that movie, Pacific Heights, back where you had Michael Keaton rented property and they couldn't remove the tenant from the property. He was damaging the property. Anyways, I would like to, it was also raised as the relatively recent formation of the Arts Alliance of Putnam. If we're going to speak about history and when things have happened, I think it's important that the commission understand the following history. And this is the Arts Council of Greater Palaca's board. They were incorporated in 1975. In 2007, Rosemary Anderson was named as the president. In 2020, when COVID arrived, Denise Aiken, who was the executive director, basically for health reasons, left Palaca, left Putnam County, and to my knowledge has not physically returned to that space or the county since 2020. And yet she was the authority figure of the Arts Council, controlling apparently the schedule and the building and the maintenance, whatever. All right. So up until 2024, Rosemary Anderson was still named as the president, which is about, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. And Denise Aiken was the director. Interestingly, May 29th of 2025, when they filed the annual report, all of a sudden there's a whole new slate of individuals named on the board. And instead of Rosemary, now it's Ramika Johnson as the president, Dwayne Munn as vice president, and some other individuals. And the end of May, or beginning of May, is the first I saw any email from Denise referring to Ramika. And following that, she basically was indicated as the president in the response to the RFP that was submitted. So here's a new president for their board submitting this. And Dustin Watkins was indicated as the executive director. And when I then was asked to provide the new executive director, Mr. Watkins, with the Wi-Fi password, and I asked, well, can you just tell me who it is? And I was given his name. That's when I went and looked and realized that he's actually Ramika's son. So apparently they decided to put in a whole new board, and actually one of my board members was a board member prior to finding out that they were no longer a board member when this new filing happened. So when I asked, well, is that even, how is that decision made? Is that a paid position? Whatever. No one could give me any actual information to that. July 8th, the evaluation committee met, recommendation was posted. And at that meeting, Mr. Stephen Crowley asked, is there a means to protest or object to this? And subsequently, I was kind of surprised. Subsequently, I found out that apparently Ramika had stepped down as the president, and now Stephen had stepped in temporarily as president. And so he's the one who was saying, hey, how can we object? Well, subsequent to that, it appears that Mr. Crowley has also stepped down as president. I have no idea who the actual board members are, who the leadership is of that board at this point. I did, the notice to appeal was filed, signed by Mr. Watkins on July 11th. And on July 15th is when the Larimer started to be open to the public, basically in response to the request in the RFP for there to be, the building being open to the public. Prior to that, the only time anybody was in there to actually see the art being exhibited was on the opening night. And then whenever we would have our plays for those 10 days, people were able to access the building and see what was in there. So the whole reason, one of the main motivators that I have in this is that the kind of events that we do require long-range planning, like a year and a half out to get the rights to do certain plays, to have the time set to sell advance tickets, et cetera. And for that reason, it's very imperative for us to have some stability with calendaring and scheduling. And historically, it's been very difficult because the Arts Council, Ms. Akins, basically, her event planning horizon is much shorter, maybe, 2 weeks. And then, we're gonna have a concert and that pops up, but she wants to hold dates on the calendar in case she gets something scheduled. That's just very difficult for us to plan around. I believe that our proposal that we presented, that was scored higher, basically addresses getting people into the building, increasing foot traffic, making it a more vibrant and welcoming area. I believe you have the authority to take action in accordance with what your legal counsel has given you. But I'll give you a couple other possible steps you could take, just so you see it out here. You could take, I believe the city commission has the authority to take what we call sui sponte action. In other words, hey, we're not even going to consider what the evaluation committee did. We're just gonna, it's been noticed, we've seen the bids, we're gonna take an action ourselves and do it. You could formally notice the tenant at Suffrage to vacate the building. Say, okay, while we sort all this out, I tell you what, we're going to take control of our building and we'll have control over what the calendar is for the next couple of months. And we'll have control over who has what in it, or et cetera. I mean, that's a possibility in my mind. As I said, this is a hearing that's not involving disputed issues of material fact. So I think at the end of the day, who is it that the city wants to work with and collaborate with? And with that, I thank you very much for your time and ask you to support our position.
Thank you. No applause, please. Stop, please. I'm going to open up a discussion for a minute, but because there's been a comment or allegation made that I am involved with GAP, I can explain, but also should I recuse myself? And I'm asking you that, Ms.
So
Webb.
these are the.
No, you can't. You cannot. Sorry.
So these are, I'm reading directly from Form B, the memorandum of voting conflict for county, municipal, and other local public officers. In order to comply with section 112 of the Florida statutes, a person holding elective or appointed municipal office must abstain from voting on a measure which would inure to his or her special private gain or loss. Each elected or appointed local officer also must abstain from knowingly voting on a measure which would inure to the special gain or loss of a principal by whom he or she is retained, including the parent, subsidiary, or sibling organization of a principal, to the special private gain or loss of a relative, and relative is defined later. So if any of that criteria, do you have a special private gain or loss?
No.
Then it is your decision on whether or not you want to recuse yourself from the vote. Let me know if you do, and I'll have you fill out a Form 8B.
If I don't want any question of impropriety, so I'm more than willing to accuse myself. I do want to clarify that I encourage the GAP organization to form. I've not been a part of it in any way, shape, or form. I just, in fact, ironically, encouraged them to form so they could provide some additional docent services to the Larimer to keep it open and work with the Arts Council, who I've also been a long-term supporter of in many ways, which can be researched and found to be true. But I'm more than happy to recuse myself if people are comfortable. Okay, thank you. We will go on discussion. Commissioner Campbell, do you have anything you want to?
With regards to the question, the recusal, if the answer was no to vote, if the answer would have been yes, she should not vote.
Didn't know that. Is there any?
The jurisdictional issues, and
Okay.
then you can deliberate, but I think Chapter 120 of the Florida statutes, it is important to note that municipalities are not automatically bound by the APA, but they may adopt relevant parts under their own ordinances and codes. And if you will look at code section 54-160.10, declaration of exclusion from the Administrative Procedures Act, we very explicitly back in 2008 removed ourselves from the jurisdiction of the APA. It says nothing contained in this article shall be construed or interpreted to include the city in the definition of an agency contained in Florida Statute 120, or to otherwise subject the city to the application of the Administrative Procedures Act, Florida Statute 120. This declaration of intent and exclusion shall apply to all proceedings taken as a result of or pursuant to this article. So I just wanted to clarify that the references to DOA, which is under Chapter 120, are not relevant. DOA does not have jurisdiction here, and that is why we are following our purchasing policy. If there is a disagreement with the decision that is rendered here tonight, the appropriate form of appeal would be to circuit court. And with that, you must deliberate, and further, just so you have a little guidance here, according to our purchasing policy, following the presentation by all involved parties, the commission shall render its decision on the merits of the protest. And that is where you are now.
Madam, may I have a question?
Go ahead.
Ms. West, in reference to the questions that the young man had and the affiliations that he accused you having, where are we with that? I mean, I need some guidance on that.
Sure. As to me serving on the evaluation committee, that is completely standard procedure. I have served on evaluation committees for RFPs in the past and ITBs. There is nothing flawed about that.
Yeah, but do you have any conflict at all with being a part of one side or the other?
No, I drafted the RFP for the Larimer. I took it upon myself to do the research to find out the history of the project, of the building. I'm interested in the history of the particular building, so I researched that. The documents that I found were all online. We do not have any particular documents here in the city that would be produced as a result of a public records request. And so in compiling that research, it was deemed that it was appropriate for me to serve on the evaluation committee because I had taken all the time to do all that research. And I drafted the RFP.
Any other questions?
I have drafted numerous RFPs. It's
Well, yeah, but you were, there's allegation that you had conflict, so that's why it's a question. I want to clarify. Not only that, the final question I have is the procurement policy. And we don't have a procurement officer at this time. So there was a question of how we did things and the erroneous way we did it. Do anybody want to
We don't
address
have a
that?
general services director, and if you recall, when I was reading the purchasing policy, there's numerous references to the general services director. Given the lack of a general services director, the city manager appointed finance director to serve in that capacity.
And as she served in that capacity, one of her responsibilities was to attempt to meet with the bid protester. And that did not happen. So therefore, it was referred up to me. So therefore, I met with him and did listen to everything. I also met with staff to be certain that there was no conflict of interest to the best that I could. Additionally, I looked at the original, what he's referring to with the project manager, the grading of the points and so forth. I looked at both ways. I looked at what was in the RFP. I looked at what was calculated. And I also looked at the one calculated afterwards. So there was very small, and it's in the package as well, that the difference was minimal, like basically what I'm saying is that the choice, the selection would have been the same. The evaluation committee.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
When I look at the notice of protest, there are 7 areas that were specifically protested. I'm gonna ask the city clerk to put up the protest answers in response to that, if you would. I just want to reference the documents. And while she's pulling that up, the areas or the categories were fundamental ambiguity in the RFP document, failure to ensure transparent bidding procedures, improper composition of evaluation committee, prejudicial deviation from published scoring criteria, misidentification of proper proposer during evaluation, arbitrary and capricious scoring, gross procedural irregularities in final records. So, and this document is in the actual formal written protest packet. And the responses were provided by Carlos Dominguez Brito, who's the city's project manager, and Chantel Pierre, the finance director. So when I looked at this document, yes, that's the document. And if you could make it larger so everyone can see it. The responses provided, what my question is, in the responses provided, it looks like everything was addressed. I don't know that I see anything that wasn't addressed. So is it appropriate that I can ask or just feedback? Because that's really what we're here for, right? The protest only, not what was decided, but to address the protest and to make a decision as to how we'll move forward. So I see that all of these items were addressed and I did not see any other response to them. So I'm assuming they addressed anything. Was there any additional contact or questions by phone or in writing after this response was given from the organization that protested? And that's Ms. Pierre, Mr. Brita.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the answers was emailed to Mr. Watkins, and at that point, I will say I was not part of the scoring or the valuation committee. I was not yet hired or did not start here at that time. I'm coming in after the fact. I became involved when it came to the point where we had to reach out to Mr. Watkins to meet with him to honor what's in our policy. He basically refused to meet with me. I attempted at least twice to meet with him. He refused and insisted to meet with the city manager instead. And at that point, I forwarded that to Ms. Carty and she reached out to him. Right.
Thank you.
So in regards to that, was that kind of the full answer for you?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you. I just wanted to know. So, Ms. Carty.
Yeah, no, I didn't send anything other than I met with him, I heard his concerns, and then I met with staff to make certain that we had addressed it completely. I considered all options as to how would I approach this, even withdrawal and all kinds of things, but basically, council informed me that we had to adhere to the purchasing policy. Purchasing policy says that once there has been a bid that's in protest, we must follow the steps. So what I wanted to do, I really could not do because it would not have complied with policy.
Thank you. And again, as I read this, I just want to say that in this document, it says the city does acknowledge, I know one of the protest concerns, or one of the items that was protested was a clerical error in naming the organization. But it says it was a scrivener's error in the documentation only, that the evaluators recognized that this was the Arts Council of Greater Palatka. And there was no confusion as to who they were evaluating. In terms of the RFP process, there's an indication that there's a difference between an request for proposal, which is RFP, which is different from an invitation to bid, an ITB, with the ITB being based solely on price. So under the RFP process, proposals are evaluated based on these qualitative factors, which is what occurred. So let's see, I am just looking. I think the third item was improper composition of evaluation committee, which we just heard from Ms. West, that there was no conflict of interest presented when the city attorney served on the committee. This conclusion was reached through a thorough review of the corresponding Florida statutes and the rules regulating the Florida bar, specifically the rules of professional conduct. And there was no unfair competitive advantage and no private interest to influence the participation. I will say that I did personally go look up to see what was the best practice for a city attorney, in particular, sitting on an evaluation committee for an RFP. And what I got from my research is that it is allowable and in most instances seen as providing confidence for the evaluation, considering the attorney understands what is being looked for, and to provide some credibility based on professional standards and position. The scoring issue. So I believe the complaint, or use the right terminology, the protest was that the scoring by the evaluation committee was arbitrary or capricious. And that whenever an evaluator scores, it's a normal and expected part of the process, because each evaluator evaluates based on their review of the RFP, with variations occurring. It notes that the evaluation was conducted in accordance with Florida procurement standards, and the evaluators had access to the same materials and the same scoring guidelines. I know there was a difference in the scoring points, maximum points in the RFP versus the scoring documents that were used. And it was mentioned that the final rankings reflected the average and compiled results of a legitimate evaluation process. When the scores were put into the using the scoring in the RFP, the results were the same, is what I just understood, that I just heard.
Yes.
And finally, the last protest was, number 7. I'm going back and forth. I just want the attendees to hear that there were gross procedural irregularities in the final records, saying that numerous scores were visibly overwritten on scorecards, and that the master ranking sheet totaling the final results was not signed by the committee. And the city's response is that the individual evaluation sheets were signed by each evaluator. There were some notes, and we have copies of those, that were taken. And again, they were signed. The markings do not indicate procedural flaws, but rather demonstrate the evaluator's active engagement with the scoring criteria in the proposals. The master ranking sheet was generated based on the signed individual score sheets. While the master sheet itself does not bear signatures, it functions as a summary and compilation document, and the accuracy is verifiable against the signed originals, and that it does not undermine the integrity or finality of the evaluation results. So those are the responses. Not hearing any objection. I just wanted to go through that for the purpose of the attendees to understand what the city responded. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Barham, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones? No? Commissioner Campbell? With that said, how would we like to proceed? That was any further deliberation? No. And so we are required to make a decision.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna move that we accept the recommendation of the evaluation committee, seeing there are no follow-ups or based on the responses.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Did you vote? I'm sorry. I missed it.
voted.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't see nothing. Okay.
For the record, can we please?
You want to do a roll call for the, huh? Excuse me, go ahead.
I did. I was just going to ask for a roll call.
I was just doing the same thing because of that. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Davis?
We're doing a roll call.
Yes, I'm sorry. The reason I'm hesitant, is there public comment on this or because,
No,
okay,
no,
thank you. I
there is
just
not.
wanted to
There
make
is
sure
not.
we didn't have to
Yeah.
backtrack.
No.
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell?
Yeah.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Yay.
Yes. Unanimous. Thank you. On next to the next agenda item, discussion direction, legislative priorities and appropriations.
Yes, ma'am. So we are meeting with our lobbyists and we're also developing information, forming information as to where, and hoping that commissioners are, giving us guidance as well. Today, we did have a meeting with the lobbyists. Their suggestion is that we focus on completing the appropriations that we have thus far. We are currently have at least about 14 to 15 million that we're in the midst of working on. Their suggestion is to finish that as quickly as we can, at least between 2026 and 2027. Also to tell the story and to memorialize, which we're in the midst of doing right now. Additionally, if we are going to go after or request funds from our legislators, the recommendation was to continue with infrastructure and public safety. We do have a PowerPoint here that would give what we were thinking, but we are going to pretty much follow the guidance of our lobbyists.
Any questions?
Would you like to look at the PowerPoint?
You want to see the PowerPoint? Go ahead. I think for the community to see the PowerPoint would be helpful.
And then I got a comment.
And that form is the form we utilize when we submit. Okay?
Yep.
Can you go to the PowerPoint, please?
I had a comment.
Okay,
Go ahead.
sure.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner Barnes. PowerPoint.
These things are very important, our appropriation priorities that we have every year. One key thing that we need to do as commissioner staff
Yes, sir.
is to make sure that we meet set up meetings with our representative. And we
Yes.
need to, I've asked in the past to set up meetings with our representatives, Judson Sapp. We need to set up a meeting with him within the next month
Yes.
and follow up with having him to invite him to have updates from what's happening and materializing in Tallahassee. That's important.
Yes, sir.
The other key thing before we go to Tallahassee and do any lobbying again, like to have
Information.
prepared information,
Right.
bullet points with pictures so
Right.
that we can present to them, so we can
Yes.
have something to give to them. We only missed out on this 1 year.
Yeah.
So and it was, I think that was super important because we did not get appropriations this year because they didn't see a story. They heard the story, we took the
Right.
story to them,
Right.
but it did not stay with them.
Exactly.
So can you please?
And
pull up the
everything you're saying is exactly what the lobbyist said as well. You're completely correct.
I have a question while we're.
Go ahead.
waiting on PowerPoint.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Move to the
No,
PowerPoint.
no, it's
No.
not.
No, it says City of
Keep
Palaca
going.
legislative
Like this.
priorities. It's got photos.
Right, keep going, right after,
There it
right
is.
there.
Yes, and can
That's
you,
it.
So, there
thank
go.
you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cardy,
Yes, ma'am.
in the priorities, as we review them, I guess I want to know, are they aligned, or is there opportunity where to align these with the county priorities? Is there some relevance or relationship or something? I was just don't understand.
I'll be candid and admit I did not do that, but I will definitely do that. Look at it.
I appreciate it because I think that provides additional leverage. And I know we have some of the same concerns, but at least if there are some synergies, we can state that there's
Yes.
some, that we're in partnership with our county.
That's
Imagine
right.
that.
Thank you. Miss
Sure.
West.
Next slide, please. So the first legislative priority, tapping into that infrastructure narrative, is clean water infrastructure for a growing city. Palaca's water reclamation plant was established in 1985, currently treats about 1.7 million gallons of flow per day. We need essentially more lift stations, and they cost 2 million each. And the entire reclamation plant, if you've been out there, does need to be expanded because we are getting a lot of growth. And so to afford this request, the city is requesting 7.2 million in state appropriations. Next slide, please. Improving transportation infrastructure. We are the county seat of Putnam. We've all seen that increased traffic, especially on Reed, and we are a connecting corridor to surrounding counties. Thank you. So in order to improve connectivity, we are seeking a request of 4 million in state appropriations. A good chunk of that is going to go towards, according to Public Works, central brick roadways that require reconstruction. Next slide. Upgrading an industrial fleet vehicles, again, for a growing city. You heard about this a little bit at the last commission meeting, where we are getting all new residents and they are going to need garbage trucks. These vehicles, I learned from Public Works, are really expensive. They're about $3 million or $300,000 each. And so we are requesting 1.5 million in state appropriations. Next slide, please. Tapping into the public safety legislative priority, supporting our first responders. You all are very familiar with the 1.8 million that we're trying to budget for a new ladder truck. And finally, tapping a little bit into economic development and addressing the Ports Consolidated lot next door. We're going to try and draw some innovative public-private partnership investments, and that would need a consultant to help with that economic development plan. So we can go out into the private sector to try and attract as much money to lift that piece of property up, because it is in our entry corridor. We anticipate that that would cost about approximately 230,000. And just a reminder, the Putnam County Legislative Delegation meeting is next Friday, the 19th at in the morning, and that will take place at the Putnam County Governmental Complex. And our state reps will be there in attendance, hearing all of our legislative priorities. So it is imperative that we express what our priorities are at that time.
And for that reason, we brought this to the commission tonight to let you understand that we will be there, we will be attending, we will be presenting, and your feedback will be very helpful to us, you know, like now, so we know that we're representing what you want us to represent.
Go ahead,
I
Commissioner.
just have one question with regards to the economic development. That number needs to increase.
Increase, yes.
Roger, I was thinking.
Thank
And
you.
the reason I'm asking that it be increased is it's best to put the fillet,
We know what you mean.
yeah, it's good to put that expanded number.
Right.
Filet mignon, I know how to say it. Y'all laughing a little too hard. But I think it's very important for us to put that number, inflated number,
Okay.
and land somewhere up under it versus putting the number that we think something actually may cost and not meeting that mark.
Okay.
And that's the only reason I would like to see that number increase. Because if we do get the higher number, it gives us an opportunity to expand fundings in other places.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
I agree with Commissioner Campbell. In looking at these priorities, there's definitely improving transportation infrastructure is definitely an opportunity with the county. And this is critical. And the reason the county has a vested interest in this is because they are approving all of these projects.
Right.
We have the one in East Palatka, we have them around, and to get from point A to point B, they're coming on these roads already, which are already overtaxed. So again, that's some leverage that we can use to get some coordination in getting that supported to support their already approved projects. It's going to increase cars and trucks and everything on that highway, so.
Go ahead.
Just a quick question, for the meeting on Friday, next Friday, what's the allotted time for the city to be able to?
Last year it was 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was 3 minutes.
When we went last year.
Yeah, it was 3 minutes.
There is usually deference. I've attended legislative delegation meetings throughout the entire state of Florida. They do give a lot of deference to the government officials. If you're a member of the public, it's usually limited to 3 or 5 minutes, but for government representatives, there's leeway.
So I think,
It's just 3. They cut you off at 3.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I think
it's
it goes
like-
back to the importance of what Commissioner Bourne was saying, because what I would love the idea of, and this would include our public information officer, if we are available, if we are successful in getting those meetings with the reps, I would love for them to have a more, a better visual of the water treatment plant. And I don't think that picture does the justice of what that water plant needs at the moment. So I don't know if there could be some kind of visual
Yeah.
video or some other things of those kind of things when we get those meetings. Because I get if we're gonna get them before we get to Tallahassee, it makes more sense to hit them hard at the beginning. But when we go there, we leave them with that pamphlet, the simple pamphlet, but they have a visual
Right.
already of what it is that we're dealing with.
Yeah, and additionally, if I may,
Go ahead.
additionally, they have their assistant there. So on next Friday, we can also leave with the assistant the handout or the information as well. All of that builds up to when you finally get there.
And so to piggyback off of Commissioner Campbell's invitation to have that visual, I think we can even go one step further and have a field trip set up so that they can come out and see it. And if it's not the representative or the senator, the key people who are the gatekeepers are the aides. And so if they put their eyes on it and different things of that nature, so we want to at least get them to the field if we can. So, yeah.
I agree. And I think we can tie it into the benefits for the county as well for getting the funding to enhance and provide more capacity on our part as the city. Also, which just Ms. Carly and I are meeting with Mr. Suggs and the Chairman Wilkinson on Friday to discuss possible future meeting dates and also agenda items. So to that end, I asked Ms. Carly, but if you haven't had that information yet, because each of you provide an agenda item to Ms. Carly, please.
Yes, and I have a draft agenda
Well, yes.
for the
we're
first
gonna-
meeting.
Well, we also have to get the input of Ms. Carly.
No. I mean, yeah, I don't mean not for their input.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, sometimes it's easier to edit than create.
Oh, okay. I did that. Too.
Yeah.
I got a question.
So I want to reiterate what Commissioner Borum said. Don't just read this, let's tell a story.
Yes.
And please, the story you tell, make it so that we understand the story, so we are always giving the same.
On the same
story.
page.
Yes.
Thank
ma'am.
you. I just want to make sure we gotta use the 3 minutes wisely
Right.
and help our legislators to understand why they need to pay attention to the city of Palaca and Putnam County and all the areas they represent and why it's important to them. So I just can't reiterate that enough. They want to hear a story. They don't want to read a paragraph. They don't want to hear a paragraph.
And another thing, the reason I think a visual, not only so much for the representatives, but for our constituents here in the city. You'll be surprised at the amount of people that take trips up to Tallahassee for whatever reason. During the legislative season that may be from our area, we bump into them all the time. But I think if they have an idea, they say, hey, I'm from Palaca. But if we do, and I'm all about campaigns because I feel that we've lacked so much in that area previously, that this should be another campaign. Hey, these are the legislative priorities going into the next season. This is the story that we're telling in Tallahassee when we go to Tallahassee so that they actually see what it is that we're advocating for. Because I don't believe, again, we rely on certain sources to provide information to our community. And a lot of times it's misconstrued and it's one-sided, or it could be sided not to the best. But I think if we can work to do a visual, having some of our staff speak on it, having some of our, I want to do a campaign with regards as we enter into it. So when we tell people we're in Tallahassee, this is what it is that we're doing in Tallahassee. This is what we're advocating for in Tallahassee. We need your support. You have people that can sit behind keyboards, send same emails to the different representatives. You have people that, and I just feel that we need to do a better job at telling our story locally so that when we are abroad, more people are telling the story outside of the 5 individuals that take that trip to Tallahassee.
Go ahead.
And like Commissioner Campbell was saying, we certainly need to make sure that we expand on that. They want to see us, they want us to be there advocating, but we need to also take our department heads, people who have the expertise in the areas, especially that we are trying to get appropriations for.
That's a good suggestion.
And also, we have to let them know that we're being good stewards of their dollars, because the funding that we get, we need to let them know, here's where we were, here's where we are. And we can, and say, hey, we got 67 miles of pipe that needed to be completed. We have completed 23 miles of pipe and we have this much more to go. Here's the funding left that we need. They might give it all to us, but we have to tell those stories.
Thank you.
Any further discussion or comments? Thank you. On to public hearings. Second reading, Airport Chapter 7 Ordinance 2025-16, an ordinance of the City of Palaca, Florida, establishing Chapter 7 of the Municipal Code of the City of Palaca, Florida, pertaining to the airport, establishing the jurisdictional and territorial limits, rules and regulations of the Airport Advisory Board, providing for severability and effective date and scrivener's errors. The second reading. Does anybody have any questions? Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing no close public comment, Do we have a motion?
Yes, move to approve ordinance 2025-16.
Second,
We have a motion and a second.
he'll have to vote when he come back in.
Well,
We can vote. He can,
Mr. Want to use the restroom?
assuming, but he'll still have to render a vote.
I know he still has to vote. That's why I'm kind of pausing a little bit and let's just do it all at once instead of moving
Okay.
on.
So we're gonna take a recess.
You can
So
take
I'm hitting
a
recess.
second recess. Do not go far. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to second reading ordinance number 2025-40 and 2025-42 in regards to parcel 1210, 2608, 2000100050, address 2409 President Street. Do we have any questions?
I got a question. The, this parcel, this was tied up during the time when we had a conflict of interest. Well, with one of our city employees who was here at the time. It is dated February 19th, 2025, when I guess that property was acquired or what have you. And so I have pause on it in terms of it being like a conflict of interest based on the internal investigation that we had. So that's my pause.
Is this the same address though?
2409?
Yes, President Street.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed it the last time when I looked it up and I saw the issue with that. So that's why I called it this time. So that's why I have pause.
Okay, so you had a question or?
No, I mean, I'm just saying this was a conflict of interest piece of property at the time the investigation was going on with a former employee here in the city of Palatka. This is still was tied into the whole link analysis that we had with Rosman.
I would refer that to the city attorney, but I'm not aware
I
that there
seen
is a
it. I mean, I
conflict
seen
with
the
this
date, the
particular.
sales and the whole nine. So I just had pause with it and my vote would be different.
Okay. Ms. West, was this the same, is this property? I thought we were talking about Smith and then Smith.
I'm sorry, I did step out. What can you?
So we're talking about second reading for ordinance number 2025-40 and 2025-42. 2409 President Street, parcel 1210-2608-2000100050.
If you look at the link analysis shows one of the individuals on there that the individual was in business with is part of this whole setup. So that's my pause, and that's just my vote. It's in the link analysis, and I caught that when the last time it came before us. So that's my position on it.
So
It was linked up and tied at the same time period the investigation was going on. So that's my pause and issue with it, and I'm staying to my tune.
Commissioner Davis?
And I just want to know, even though we passed the first reading of it, if the second reading doesn't pass, then it's just done, or can we talk about consequences to these decisions?
absolutely, if this applicant has met the essential requirements of the law, it is my advice that you pass this application. Otherwise, we would subject the city to potential liability.
Well, yeah, and I've got to open it up to public comment. Is there anybody here for public comment on this issue?
Or the
Or
applicant,
on this property, I should say?
is the applicant here?
Is the applicant present?
Yes, this is an agent for the applicant.
Okay. Yes, and that's fine. Would you like to come up, Mr. Kennedy? And I don't know what to say. There's no real question. Okay. With that said, there's nobody for public comment on this issue. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second, all in favor? Well, let's do a roll call, please, Madam Clerk. Sorry.
Commissioner Warren?
No.
That ain't usually the order, but no.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Davis? Yes. Mayor Guerrero?
Yes. 3-2 passes. Second reading ordinance number 2025-43 and ordinance number 2025-45 regarding parcel 12, number 12-10-26-4030-0040-0406 located at 2706 Cecil Ave. Anybody have any questions of the planning director? Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Can we, oh, sorry, I have a question. Can we do 2025 and 43 and 45, or we do them separately?
Do
Or
them together.
separate?
You want to do them separate?
43 and 45.
43 and 45.
Can I can do them together?
Make it done
Yeah, I
previously.
think so.
Motion
Okay.
to approve.
A second.
The motion is second. Is anybody here for public comment on this? Being none, we'll close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. F, adopt ordinance 2025-55 fee schedule, an ordinance of the city of Palatka, Florida, amending the Palatka Municipal Code and amending Appendix A fee schedule of the municipal code of the city of Palatka as it pertains to fees and other charges related to chapter 34. Fire prevention and protection, chapter 46 offenses and miscellaneous provisions, chapter 50 parks and recreation, chapter 82 traffic and vehicles, chapter 86 utilities, and chapter 95 administrative fees, providing for conflict, severability, effective date, and scrivener's errors.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anybody here for public comment? Seeing we close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Ordinance number 2025-31 and ordinance number 2025-33. Identified parcel number 1610260002400013 589 Kelly Smith School Road in Palatka.
Commissioners, been informed by today that the school board needs a little bit more time to complete the legal description, and they're asking these to be continued to the next meeting of September 25th.
I'll make a motion that we continue this to our next meeting.
We have a motion and second for continuance to the next meeting. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you.
I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
You can.
Of course.
So currently, Mr. Gamble,
Yes,
that property is in the county, correct?
it is in the county, so this second read was for the annexation and for the rezoning of that property. It is owned by the school board district.
Right, so technically, the county got all the fruit, you know, they got the taxes for that property. When it was owned by a private person, and they're getting ready to sell it to the county. Which, once the county school district get it, we're gonna annex it and get no tax.
Well, they're asking for the annexation, the voluntary annexation.
Yeah, but we won't get any taxes or any benefit from that property, right? Just, that's 10 acres.
They need the water and the sewer service from the city. That's the reason for the annexation.
Yeah. It's gonna be on, it will be on the agenda for next meeting.
Right.
And then there'll be opportunity for public comment then. Thank you. On to the first public hearing for the proposed millage rate and budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. 6.4000 mills proposed. Adopt resolution 2025 R114, setting the proposed FY 2025-2026 millage rate at 6.4000 mils. Adopt resolution 2025 R123, adopting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 in the amount of $85,592,317. We're going to go on to that process. Introduction to public hearing for City of Palaca fiscal year 2025-2026 tentative millage and budget. The City of Palaca Commissioners convenes the public hearing on the City of Palaca fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed millage rates and tentative budget as required by Florida statutes, chapters 129 and 200, and as advertised in the Truth and Millage trim notices. If anyone not ordinance is here for the purpose of contesting their assessment, a petition for adjustment with the Value Adjustment Board should be filed by 5 p.m. Thursday, September 10th, 2025, as stated in the trim notices sent via first-class mail by the county's property appraiser to every taxpayer on the property value assessment roll. For those in attendance this evening wishing to address the commission, citizens' comments will be taken following the overview of the tentative budget by the Finance Director. The Finance Director, Chantel Pierre, will now present an explanation of the proposed and rollback millage rates. Ms. Pierre?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This evening, we'll take a few actions related to the adoption of the proposed millage rate and budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026. Tonight's hearing is the first of 2 public hearings required to be held per Florida statutes prior to the adoption of final millage rate and the budget by a taxing authority. As such, this is not the final budget hearing, and the final adoption of the millage rates and budgets will not be considered tonight. At the conclusion of this hearing, a specific date, time, and place of the second public hearing for adoption of final millage rate and budget will be established. Florida statutes requires the name of the taxing authority, the millage rate to be levied, the rollback rate, and the percentage change over rollback rate be publicly announced. In addition, one of the requirements of the Truth in Millage legislation is to provide information about why proposed millage rates differ from the rollback millage rates. Rollback millage rate is defined as the millage rate which, exclusive of new construction, additions to structures, deletions, and property added due to geographic boundary changes, will provide the same ad valorem tax revenue for each taxing authority as was levied during the prior year. The trim process requires that a notice of tax increase be advertised when the current year proposed aggregate millage rate exceeds the calculated aggregated aggregate rolled back millage rate. The aggregate rollback millage rate is calculated by dividing the prior year adjusted property tax revenue by the current year taxable property value multiplied by 1,000. The current year taxable value does not include new instruction and tax increment CRA values. For the fiscal year 2025 budget, the aggregate proposed operating millage rate for the city of Palaca is 6.4000 mils, which is 2.57% greater than the rollback rate of 6.2397 mils. The increase in property tax revenue is essential to fund the appropriations needed to operate the general citywide budget. This is inclusive of personnel costs, operating costs, capital expenses, as well as grant matches. Mayor and Commissioners, the total county tentative budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 is $85,592,317. I'm happy to answer any questions pertaining to the changes or on the budget before you currently.
Are there any questions from members of the commission? Citizens' comments on fiscal year 2025-26 proposed millage rates and tentative budget. I would now like to invite citizens to comment on the fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed millage rates and tentative budget. Please come forward to the podium. If you wish to address the commission, fill out a yellow speaker card that can be found in the back of the room. Is there anybody here for public comment on the subject? Come up and make sure you fill out a yellow card afterwards, Mr. Sheffield.
Thank you.
Give us your name and city and town of residence.
Alan Sheffield, Palaca. I know this is up. You got one more meeting you've got to do for the budget. So really this comment is towards next year. I'd like the commissioners to consider really tasking the staff over this next year, because we see the taxes go up. We get the lovely information in terms of this is what will happen if it doesn't change, this is what it'll be, and all of that. But with the pressure you're under to approve a budget and get to things in the time frame that you usually do, one, you never find the savings that you need to actually keep our taxes the same in a year. So I don't see as realistic for you to even get there. So what I'd like to ask is for next year that you do, by actually tasking during the year, city staff to identify areas that will save and get to a position of a goal of next year not increasing our property taxes.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment? Seeing none, I will now close the public comment section of the public hearing. City of Palaca Commission's action on FY 2025-2026 proposed millage rate and tentative budget. Adjustments by the motion to the City of Palaca fiscal year 2025-2026 tentative budget. Ms. Pierre.
Mayor and Commissioners, the budget document before you, fiscal year 26 tentative budget, includes appropriations described earlier. Any additional adjustments to this budget can be made by motion at this time.
Does anybody want to make an adjustment, make a motion for adjustment?
I would like to make a motion for an adjustment to 6.25 or what have you, because that really, the rollback is what we produce for fiscal year 24-25, right? 24-25.
The rollback in the prior year, it was a different amount. I don't have it in front of me.
Was it 6.12?
Something like that, yes, sir. And
Right.
For 23-24, but
Right.
we didn't accept that though. We did do
Right.
6.4.
Right.
Okay.
So is there can we roll it back just a little bit to provide some level of reduction? Because again, the property values continues to go up, and each time that happens, it impacts our the 3,900 residents that we have. And so again, if you were looking at the fire fee, and I thought we identified 700 and something thousand that we could at least cut back on some of that to be able to help in that regard is around $175 to $200 per household. So are we still gonna be looking at something along those lines that we discussed?
No, sir, we did
Because-
not touch the fire assessment this year.
But you identified
I
three
did. I did
three to five
identify that if you all wanted to do that, then we would have, I gave you different scenarios. But I did not get from you to actually do that, so I did not do that.
We talked about you gave me the positions.
Yeah, I did. I gave
Right.
it to all of you.
And so the positions, you said that you would not need going into this year, and that would help with that. You identified it, and that's where I thought we were gonna be, but sound like you're backtracking.
Right, no, I did not do it. I did present it so that you all could say, if you want me to really do that. I gave you the options. So with the fire assessment, no, we did not touch it. So it is at the 2.46 and the 125. But I did give alternatives and options to all the commissioners for you all to tell me yay or nay, do you want me to do that?
I started with you back in March.
That's right. And
Okay.
also, again, I did it in June, July, and August. I did. Okay.
Sorry. Ms. Pierre, and then go ahead.
I just want to highlight that we are currently in the 11th hour at this point. There is no room to make any drastic changes, only because we have Florida statutes, and I can refer to Ms. Jane West. She can provide more insight on that, but we have Florida statutes that we have to abide by. And fortunately, I can't speak on what happened before I started, but I can encourage and say that if I'm here and I intend to be, I will be sure that you're involved and we'll keep on communicating and keep bothering you as much as we need to so that this doesn't happen again.
Well,
We're in the
no,
11th
that's
hour.
not it. That's not really it.
I'm
The
not.
point is that, okay, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Commissioner Davis.
Sorry.
All I want to say is we've had the budget workshops and I don't know if it's even viable to make a modification at this point. And because we would have to adjust the budget to those numbers. So where the recommendation would have had to come is in our last budget workshop
Correct.
before this budget, I'm sorry, before this recommendation came, because those numbers were made according to revenue based on the fire assessment and the 6.4 millage rate, which was, I know the direction I gave from the dais to make sure that we did not adjust our budget at the higher interim rate of 7.1. That was just to see if we could get down to at least keeping the millage rate at 6.4. Ideally, I wish we could have used a rollback, but I don't even think that was feasible based on our discussion in the workshops, because the truth of the matter is everything has gone up, and we have cut at this point until we do something differently in the upcoming year. As Mr. Sheffield just recommended, we need to start doing this all throughout the year and identify these opportunities so we're not at crunch period. But
We did,
that's it.
yes, and we did have
That's-
several
that's all I wanna
workshops
say.
to
Right.
attend and make these adjustments at the time, and we did not, and the costs have not reduced. And we also have a very low tax base in this city, to no fault of any of us, but the fact is we have minimal tax revenue. We have a lot of properties that aren't taxed. And unfortunately, that is the reality of Palatka. Go ahead, Commissioner. Boyle.
Yes, okay, and again, I'm always looking out for the best interests of our taxpayers. And I did start out early, very early in terms of working. Right. And we had identified some things, and I was led to believe that we would be able to reduce it, and it did not happen. But anyways, I just want the taxpayers to know that I'm working on your behalf to try to do the very best I can to help provide the reduction, not for the sake of just reduction, but I understand and know how it's impacting people who are paying taxes. And I have seen the number grow from $300 over $1,000. So it went over 200 or 300% as it relates to that. When we first initiated the fire fee, it was supposed to be to help balance the budget, and now we have grown to rely on it because of different administrators moving things and adding things into the budget that sometimes that commission and put commission at odds as it relates to budgeting and different things of that nature. So that's one thing I do not like. What I like to see is people come in and analyze our budgets and understand and know what we need and what we do not need. And I'll be so happy, God happy, when the operational audit happens.
Yes,
If
go
I-
ahead, Commissioner.
I just want to respond, Commissioner Borum, I 110% agree with you. It's just that we missed it at a workshop. That's, I want to make sure I'm clear, because I do know, I think we're all are concerned about our citizens, and we hear it all the time about these taxes going up, 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 up. And I agree with you. I think we missed it at the budget workshop where we should have made the adjustment and didn't recognize it didn't happen or didn't happen before we got to this point. That was the only point I'm making.
But I asked for the rollback.
Right.
Right, and it is true that, you know, Commissioner outside. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Pia, please.
I'm working on drafting the budget book at this time and realize that the budget is driven by strategic goals. So my hopes are that in the upcoming year, we can discuss what the goals are, and that can determine what needs to be cut. Just want to add that.
Makes sense. Thank you. Is there any other further discussions, adjustments, excuse me? So we're on to the adoption of resolution establishing fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed city of.
No, Warren just,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was done. I was done.
didn't you propose?
No, I made a proposal, but don't just, I want to withdraw it. I just withdraw it because
Okay.
if it's meeting the time criteria.
No. That's separate. That's two separate
He didn't
things.
make a motion, he made a recommendation.
I understand.
Yeah, I'll just recall it.
Okay.
I was just saying to the mayor that we need a motion.
We'll get
Do we
rid of the
not?
whole script.
Are we, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we still.
So I'm going to stay on this.
Yes.
Okay. Mayor and Commissioners, Florida statutes require the board to adopt proposed millage rates prior to adopting the related budget. As such, before you is resolution number 2025-114, a resolution to adopt the tentative millage rate for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026, pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 200 Florida statutes, providing for conflicts and severability and providing for an effective date. The resolution includes the total general fund millage rate of fiscal year 2026 is 6.4000, which is unchanged from fiscal year 25, but more than the rollback millage rate of 6.2397.
So in essence, it's an increase.
Correct, 2.57%, which is in alignment with the cost of living increase for,
CPI.
for CPI, just for the record.
Yeah.
Adoption of resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-2026 tentative budget. Ms. Pia.
Mayor and Commissioners, subsequent to the Commission adopting the fiscal year 26 proposed millage rate, you must then adopt the corresponding fiscal year 26 tentative budget. Before you is resolution number 2025-123, a resolution to adopt the tentative budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026. Pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 200 Florida statutes, providing for conflicts and severability and providing for an effective date.
Would somebody like to make a motion, please? To approve resolution number 2025-123, adopting the tentative budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026. Will somebody like to make that motion?
So move.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Any discussion, any further discussion? I'm gonna open the floor to public comment. Is there anybody here for public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call. Madam Clerk, please.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Thank
You, thank you.
Yes, I did.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
You were following the script. Yeah. You missed the millage rate at the top of,
See, it should have been up here where it said
Okay.
move to approve resolution 2025-114. So this is what we need to do that one first.
The finance director read?
No.
So-
But the millage, right?
yeah, you
Oh,
missed,
That's, okay, because I saw county commission motion, that's why I just picked up. Yeah. Okay, move to approve resolution number 2025-114, adopting the tentative millage rates for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026.
point of order, please, Mayor. Since we had a motion on, we have a motion on the floor for the budget,
And we
do
have-
we need to withdraw that motion?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that we can make another motion?
Yes.
So. Should it be? Second.
Your motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. On to move to approve resolution number 2025-114, adopting the tentative millage rates fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026.
Mayor,
Motion.
move to approve.
The motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to public comment. Is anybody here for public comment? Closing public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition?
Nay.
Okay, nay. We have one opposition passed.
Why wasn't the entire caption read? You stopped, yeah.
Okay, so it was read,
It was read.
but she didn't get the.
I missed the motion. That is my fault, but the rest of it was read.
No, where it says this
Yeah,
resolution
it was
includes,
Can you increase the size of that
Right,
Word
make it
document,
larger.
please?
That was read by Ms. Pierce.
Please, thank you.
that part, saying.
It was read. On to C, adoption of resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-2026 tentative budget. Ms. Pierre?
Okay, I'm rereading this, I guess. Mayor,
Yes.
okay, Mayor and Commissioners, subsequent to the commission adopting the fiscal year 2026 proposed millage rate, you must then adopt the corresponding fiscal year 26 tentative budget. Before you is the resolution number 2025-123, a resolution to adopt the tentative budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026, pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 200 Florida statutes providing for conflicts and severability and providing for an effective date.
We have moved to adopt resolution number 2025-123, adopting the tentative budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026. Do we have a motion?
Second.
The motion is second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, is there anybody here for public comment? Public comments closed. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition?
Nay.
Thank you. Establish and publicly announce the date, time, and place of the second public hearing to consider the final adoption of the millage rates and budget. Finance Director.
Mayor and Commissioners, the final action requested from the commission this evening is to establish and publicly announce the date, time, and location of the final public hearing to consider adopting the final millage rate and budget as amended. This meeting must be held within 20 days of following the conclusion of tonight's public hearing, properly advertised and held after 5 p.m. Staff recommends that the second and final public hearing is scheduled for Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in this same location, the Commission's chambers.
On to the motion. Do we have a motion to move to schedule the second and final public hearing? Okay,
Second.
the motion is second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'm gonna open the floor to public comment. Is anybody here for public comment? Closing public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. That concludes our public hearing. Ms. appear.
Mayor and Commission, the budget-related business for this evening's public hearing is complete. Thank you.
This concludes the first term public hearing. Thank you, everybody. That said, do we have any comments from the commission's comments in general?
I do, just real quick, my comment from our last meeting took light and, I still stand by what I said, but I'm grateful that we are moving forward and having a necessary meeting so that we, can move forward. But also I want to make sure that from the city's perspective, I appreciate the work that is being put into bettering the sound and everything. But I want to make the recommendation also to have someone review what actually goes out. Just, I know, and it's nothing to Ms. Karen at all, but I think when one eye look at some stuff, it has a tendency to miss something, just more specifically what we went through. That was something that was a public document. But I think the more eyes that we have that could look at things before it is published, I think we will be able to catch a lot of errors that, and that's just that one thing pointed out. But again, when one eye look at things, again, I do it all the time. I have some people who work with me. Could you look over this before it is published, just to make sure that we can catch as many errors, because those are public documents.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones, do you have any comments?
The only comment I have is when we do meet with the county commissioners, and their county manager, that we actually have a plan and a goal versus going over, singing Kumbaya. What are we trying to accomplish? And I think Commissioner Davis said she had an agenda that started. So if we all have input on that agenda, at least review that agenda, that would be nice going forward. But we all need to be on the same page when we go. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you. And that would be the intent once we have an agenda drafted with the county, that everybody here would look at it, as well as everybody on the county commission. Commissioner Borum?
Yeah, I concur with Commissioner Jones with what he said in terms of when we go and meet, we want to make sure that we have those priorities, and some of those priorities are going to be some things that we're going to be revisiting. And so I'm looking forward to submitting those back to the county, and again, just to see what their position is as it relates to our priorities and what we need in the city to help reduce the number of overlapping services that we currently have, in addition to some other things as it relates to ad valorem that we taxes that we could be receiving for the enclaves in our city. The other thing is, I want to thank the staff for a well job that everybody's done with the budget, and everything that you do on a daily to help make the city shine. I had one individual I spoke with that kind of brought something to my attention, and I've seen it as we recognize Employee of the Month. I think we need to look at our sanitation department. I don't think we ever had a Employee of the Month from sanitation department area, and I think that's another critical area of our city function. And in addition, there's a lot of other areas that has been recognized as it relates to that, but I think they are as critical as in our other departments as well. The other key point is I spoke with an individual about their insurance, health insurance, and talked about how they could not carry forth insurance for the city. That's another thing that we need to look at about employees being able to at least afford the insurance. The insurance is going up and up and up, and we need to make sure that our employees are able to afford that. If we need to go out for other bids to help with reducing those costs, that's what I would recommend. So everybody can be covered. So other than that, thank everybody for what you do on a daily.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes, I mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to attend the Northeast Florida Crime Stoppers Awards, annual awards. And I want to say, congratulations to Detective Berger. She won Officer of the Year from the Palaca Police Department. And, it was just an honor to be there. I really wanted to do a Facebook post, but the nature of her job, I was going to get approval from Chief. So in the absence of me not requesting that approval, I didn't post anything because I don't know. But it was very, I want to say that she was selected over other officers who had done amazing things. Chief?
Just to add, we will be, I've already mentioned, and talked with Greta earlier, and we will be releasing that information on Facebook, and it will also be tagged on the city's page. We wanted to make sure we included the photos and the write-up that actually was presented to assist in her winning the award.
Thank you. That's why I didn't post, because we have a PIO now. So thank you very much. Looking forward to that. I want to reference, the limbs that should be picked up by the city, in the city, the debris on the side of the road from limbs and trees. If you're not sure, if you just look in front of the building, our city buildings, and I drove around all around the city, and I recognized there was a holiday last week, but I don't know if we're behind. But Ms. Cardy, can you please make sure that that is picked up immediately? It looks really poor that our city buildings, and you can tell it's been out there for a while because they're
brown. They
dead,
said
they're brown. So not acceptable, and that should be a trigger when we see that, to look around the city. I would like to follow up on a letter that the commissioners and the mayor received from Mr. Sheffield. I don't know if we've talked about this in public, but I want to bring it up because I don't remember us. But it was regarding the FY 24 audit report. And I want to first say thank you to Mr. Sheffield for following up on that, because I think we did have some major gaps that should have been addressed, and we have some opportunities to ensure those gaps are not, that they're filled. One was, there was no reference in the audit report to the finding of a conflict of interest with our staff. While we know we addressed it, but there was enough evidence and documentation that that should have been documented in those findings. And to Mr. Sheffield's point, I agree, when something that visible is not included, I just want to make sure that we are getting complete audits, and I'm just going to say that. I'm going to stop right there. The second thing, I will say that I did get an email this morning from Mr. Roderick what's his name? Harvey, the CPA who conducted, and he did ask for me to set up a meeting if I had some follow-ups, and I'm going to take him up on that.
We all do, and that's an
all do.
annual event.
Got it. So I don't know.
We all got that. We
Okay,
all-
good. So just wanted to disclosure. And then in Mr. Sheffield's letter, there is an opportunity to shore up our conflict of interest, process. And he offered a suggestion, which is a very practical suggestion, is when someone comes up to discuss property, that they be required to make a declaration orally and in writing, that they or any parties related to them have no conflicts of interest with any property or parties associated with the matter. And if it's not something that comes before the commission, that we do get that statement be added to a checklist, so that, again, everyone can acknowledge it. We want to make sure every point where we are making decisions on property that we are dealing with, or making sure we have that statement so that the city can be protected and we're not having to go in and relive some of the gaps that we had before and the consequences of those gaps. I believe that's all. I will submit, if you don't have it, Ms. Cardy, I will submit this to you for operational, for us to add it in operationally. And again, thank you, because I'm asking all citizens, when you see something, just provide the information. We are processing a lot of information up here, and we don't always get to fill in the holes. But our intent is to make things better for our city, make sure we have controls in place so that processes are fair and normal. And I think you hear that from the commissioners up here over and over and over. And recognizing that we did have some gaps and we want to fill them to make sure, again, the city is protected, our citizens are protected, and that the integrity of this commission is understood and not questioned. So thank you, everyone, to our staff for all the work you've done, especially to our finance department. Ms. Pierre is new, came in during budget season. God bless you. And I think you have done an amazing job, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. To clarify though, don't we have that reform and
We already
requirement
have that.
ready for declaration? You may, I know, well,
No.
not really, you can't really, no, you can't. Yeah.
Correct. So,
We'll speak afterwards.
yes.
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's-
there's an opportunity because again, I intentionally mentioned him because
Right.
he's the resource.
Exactly.
Thank you. Any, Commissioner Moore, do
Well-
you have something else?
Well, I was just gonna super concur with Commissioner Davis, with that. And then again, like, I'm not sure if I should continue to speak with Mr. Roger around some of the things that
Yes, you can.
that occur, okay, because again, we had that $1.4 million loan that, and then it supposed to have been corrected. I like to see,
It was corrected.
I would like to see the correction. It
I
should be
will
some
send you a
note
Copy, I'm sorry, I'll send
that,
it.
and that's the other thing with the, as it relates to the audit and the having a clean audit. When you had it down as a loan, then it came back that it was revenue. So all of those things need to be addressed. And again, I concur with Commissioner Davis with the cleanup around, because I've gotten a call that I got to go out and look at where we've had trash that was supposed to have been picked up, and it's been well over almost a month now, almost 3 weeks to a month. So
Follow up on that.
There are different areas. I will say they picked it up, the brush in my neighborhood today, but I know that it has been delayed for a while. Any other comments? And apparently the meeting was adjourned before anybody even made a motion to adjourn. Would
No,
somebody like to make a
it
motion?
wasn't.
I know it wasn't. I was facetious. Would you like to
Move
make a?
to adjourn.
Okay, thank you. I was being facetious. I did.
Oh, yeah.